As you already know, this is your boy Dance God Lloyd, and you are listening to the Science Digest show on ỌDADEƐ Radio. You know the vibes. Click on the like button, subscribe, and share. Let's go.
Hello, my name is Elsiefa Kaufman, and I'm here to support the Science Digest show on YouTube. They have a lot of interviews, interesting things going on. Please watch it. Thank you.
For more updates on science, technology, and innovation, why don't you go onto YouTube and watch the Science Digest show? That's the best show on YouTube.
Hi there. So to all my lovely people who love science and anything science, well, the Science Digest show has got you sorted to kindly hop onto their YouTube channel, subscribe, and let's learn anything and everything science. Science Digest show, demystifying science.
My name is Dr. Yabidiako, Research Fellow at the West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens at the University of Ghana. The Science Digest show is an informative program that explores issues of scientific relevance in Ghana. So I encourage everybody to watch it for up-to-date information and updates on any area of science as it applies, as it's relevant to Ghana.
Still no break up. Only God. Yeah, I ain't yo there, ain't yo there, ain't yo there, ain't yo no no. That's right. Highly spiritual. And rain you mere, Shia Yeshua Hamashiach says it's coming down today to perform a miracle for you and I. Namizaya me atam nana, senka me boni ashamema. Very far from the mercy, but you give him the opportunity to worship your majesty, to eternity, to the Holy Trinity. Angels are singing, seraphim and cherubim. Hey, Okotu, Nenyami Adam Nana. Mesuma Kutunibio, Meponi Dindo. Namakase, Igwe, Namesaksido.
Hello, Akraba, and welcome aboard the Science Digest show. Today, we are sponsored by myriads of companies, but proudly powered by SMC Consult. Science Digest show is also supported by EPP Books Services, located on the second floor of the high-rise building opposite the University of Ghana main entrance. Today's show is an interesting one, of course, and is going to talk about the human condition in the 21st century, meaning that our current status quo and then the life of human beings, our conditions, and so much more. On the show today, Science Digest show, we have a wonderful guest in the person of Dr. Charles Prempeh. Dr. Charles Prempeh, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, my brother. And thanks for having me. I should believe you are doing well.
Yes, I am. Hope you are too.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Charles Prempeh, please, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Right. So, I started by thanking you, and let me thank you again. It's an opportunity for me to be on your show. So, as you rightly said, Charles Prempeh. Most of my friends know me as Prempeh, and I always say that is quite political, but also for cultural reasons, for my own identity, so that people can easily identify me wherever the world, compared to Charles, which is more European. So in terms of education, I was trained in African studies. That's where I developed my specialty. From the University of Cape Coast, where I had my first degree education in African studies, then in African studies in the University of Ghana. Then I was in Makerere University for 3 years, where I began a PhD. Then eventually I ended in Cambridge, where I completed my PhD, but not in African studies directly, except that my research was in relation to African studies. There are so many many of the UK universities do not have terminal degree in African studies. So once one has the background in the field, one could progress in any other research used in Africa. So basically, yes, that's about me in terms of my academic pursuit. In terms of my religious life, I'm a thoroughbred evangelical conservative Christian. And I lean theologically more towards Calvinism. And then also, in terms of social wise, I'm very open to friends. I am a very tolerant person, but I live within some defined ethical and political boundaries within which I operate, even as I accept everyone who comes my way. Politically, I do not really identify as any political party. I mean, to say that I'm not very partisan, even though I have a strong political philosophy that governs my life and in terms of how I vote. Now, in terms of policy, I tend to write virtually on all subjects within the human for the economy, the, let's say, the religion and technology, culture studies, I like all these. I'm more interested also in philosophy of science, because my research interests all places to be able to really navigate prepare 19th century conviviality between the humanities, the social sciences, and the mathematics. My goal is to say that the artificial boundary or the artificial wall that was drawn between the humanities and the sciences needs to be broken down. Precisely because I think that the human condition, the human challenge, to be handled in a composite fashion or in a mutual inclusivity between science and philosophy. Whereas philosophy will answer the why questions of our difficulties and technical questions, the how, which is the technical aspect, will then provide the solution. And of course, I always want to believe that once we know the why, which is philosophy or the social sciences, we can bear the how. In other words, we will then find a way to apply science. So basically, that's a little about it. If I've left anything out, I'm very happy to.
Sure, that's a good piece of information out there for us. I know you schooled in Cambridge too, and I think Oxford. Is that the case?
Yeah, that is true, yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about yours?
Yeah, so what happened was that when I left my career in 2016, I was there for 3, as I said. I came to Ghana, I applied to SBH, which is Oxford of Companies. My God's grace, both universities admitted. So I was torn between both. But it appeared I loved the name Cambridge. And also, the first supervisor in Cambridge, one needed to get in touch with the supervisor before one could go ahead for the career studies. So I was more in line with the philosophical foundation, good disposition, and research interest of when I was working with in Cambridge more than in Oxford. So whereas Cambridge was the first to admit me, Oxford was first to make sure everything that I needed to get to move to Oxford was ready. But somehow I waited until I came to Cambridge. And soon after my Cambridge PhD, I got a certificate course in research and public engagement with Oxford. It was part of this application, which by God I was admitted to do the program. So yes, so that's what happened. Yes.
Amazing. So, with your educational pathway, which one was the most challenging? From UCC to Makerere to Oxford to Cambridge, which one was?
So I imagine, so undergraduate-wise, KVAS was terrible. Not terrible as in something bad, but it was more rigorous. Because after studies had just begun, 203, and Michael moved on in 204. So 204 proposed issue, and you have to read virtually everything in that studies, virtually everything. Mind you, the program needed to receive nationwide, of course it had been accredited, but it needed to be institutionalized and consolidated. Obviously, African studies had been there since 1961 as a research institute or at the preparatory level. So KVAT was the first to run African studies as an adult program in Ghana and perhaps West Africa, if not in Japan. And we being the second batch, we had to prove our method, we had to prove our we worked very hard. And our teachers did, our professors did very well. We were virtually so we had additional advantage. Whereas those in the real art faculty or the mainstream art faculty read outside of concepts, we read nearly everything they read. In addition to reading everything else from the perspective of history, politics, religion, everything within the humanities. So it was so broad, so broad. Now, jumping on from there, Legon was not too much of a problem because we had built a background of concepts. So moving to Legon to do African concepts, which was so Kevas, I was there from 2004 to 2008, and I served as a TA for going to University of Ghana. 2009 to 2011, that's when I finished. So Legon experience was quite like a walk in the park because, like I said, we had built a foundation in the field long before we moved to Legon. I mean, my colleagues. But then the major challenge in my current life was unemployment. That was important because it was a run for my brain, it was a run for my energy, it was a run for everything that because it was an interdisciplinary PhD in social studies. And we had to read nearly everything within the social sciences. So from political economy, political science, political philosophy, ecology, cultural studies, political culture, nearly everything. And we're reading not less than sometimes 150 pages a week. We did like 2 solid videos, yes. Trust me. It was tough. So it was such that for the first 1 year, none of my colleagues ever knew what was reading. None. And I mean none. So you'll be there, you wonder which day I read because it was that way. And I recall I never went to church for the whole one. Not that I didn't want, but sometimes Sunday comes to pass by and you wonder whether it was serious. And it was not just a reading. See, it's actually reading, one could read and just read, but no, every single reading one had to write response paper. And that response was a critical reflection. So it took 40% of the grading system. And not just that, the scholarship was such that it was highly competitive. In fact, the whole of Africa, they pick some 4 or 5. So I happened by grace to have been part of the 4 that were picked from Africa.
Congrats.
And to remain the program, one needed not to get less than B+. And one needed 80 plus to get A. So you can imagine what it meant. So you could score, let's say, 4 A's, well, let's say semester, if you read 4 courses. If one scored 3 A's and C+, you lost the scholarship. That was it. I mean, there was no negotiation.
Interesting.
Yes. But the good news is, once you got on the program, it was the best scholarship ever that I've seen. I don't know, but for me, I think it may have changed a little bit. But when we joined, it involved everything, and I mean everything. Transportation, were fed from morning to, it was that kind of scholarship where you go on scholarship. And the logic of it was that our professor and director at the time, Professor Mahmoud Mandani, he's a top scholar globally, he's celebrated, trained at us in Harvard, and then a long-time professor at Columbia University. He, of Indian origin anyway, but of course, a Ghanaian citizen, having gone through the university system, top scholar from the 60s and 70s, and knowing how majority of Africans who travel to the West to study hardly resettle when they came to Africa, decided that he was going to establish Western institution in Africa, but with a different perspective, so that it would be African orientation with the same rigor, if not better than the Western world. So you can imagine we had to do quadruple of what the Western student. The rigor will be there, and at the same time, we had to strain. You see, we had to go beyond to prove a point that, just like what I experienced at the University of Cape Town, we had to prove a point at my side, my parents to share with us. We had to prove a point that indeed we could be better than those who had gone to the US instead of we could perform higher than that. And because of that, everything we all had a room to ourselves. I mean, we never shared a room. So I had a big room to myself, properly finished. We never bought books. Books were provided for us for free. Before the semester, in fact, one can choose not to go to the library because every single book one needed were made available. But before the semester begins, yes, and I never brought any of my books home. Any of the hard books I used, I never brought any of them because it could occupy a whole week. Yes, yes, I can assure you. So my books are still with a friend in Uganda.
In Uganda.
Yes, so by the time
Wow.
before the semester began, you go to the library, your books were made ready for you, and they are for you. Free, they are for you. You see everything, internet, solid internet, everything. So we were like an investing in university. Yes. And to whom much is given, much is demanded. And that was the logic of the rigorous of my study.
Okay.
And we too, my brother, that was for me was a defining moment of my scholarship. And also because I had to go through it alongside health crisis. Yeah, because I had 3 surgeries in 2 years while I was on the program. So
Wow.
you can imagine, see, pain, extreme pain, and then the academic work.
Yeah.
That's no joke. Trust me, it wasn't. And then the other side of it that we had to read, for example, reading Dr. Economy, we had to read the original language. So if we're reading, let's say, Adam Smith, or we're reading David Ricardo, or we're reading any of these, primal economists or social scientists, we had to read the original text. So we didn't have to read the modern English.
Wow.
And that even made it more, yes, because our professor believed in originality, so that we read the mind of the author, not in the modern language. And then not through the translation or the interpretation of another a secondary scholar or tertiary scholar, but from the primary source. And that even made it more difficult. Because some of the words we read and you see they have become outdated, but we had to make sure we understood it.
Interesting.
And there was no one could also escape. If you never attended any lecture, that was troublesome enough. So you have to always give reason if you couldn't attend the lecture. And we must submit response paper 2 days before lectures, or at least a day before lecture, so that you go and you discuss. It was tough. And compulsory, we had to attend seminars to them present. But graciously, I don't know, I took 12 courses in all. I registered 9 A's and 3 B classes, which was that the best or the second best of all. Where I don't remember, yes.
Wow.
It was tough. So if you ask me, for me, that it was my career that gave me that level of confidence in academic work. Of course, like I said, I had built up from Kenya, where I had first class unprecedented across with my studies. Lagos, I was awarded for academic and adjustment. But it was my career that really defined scholarship.
Amazing.
So if you look at my CV, you notice that I was not writing. So I was not writing any academic paper when I was there.
Okay.
Because the issue was such that we never had time to write the paper, not that we couldn't have published.
Yeah.
Published out of our, so again, beyond, apart from the response papers, we're writing mid-sem papers, we're writing end of semester papers. And these were full papers. So any of the papers could have been published as an academic piece.
Okay.
I recall just last year, one of my professors who taught me gender. Anyway, I took all the talk, so I have a statistics. Now, she, for example, wanted me to publish nearly all my papers that I submitted. Because she felt the all published papers, yes. So, but because of the pressure, the pressure to study, the pressure to make sure you don't fall. I mean, I couldn't publish when I was yes. I think it was just when I finished the course when I published the paper. My first one, thinking, this is
amazing. I believe you double also as a director of communications for an NGO.
Yes. That is Vacation Initiative in Science Africa. Yeah, so I didn't, you see, so I think that, again, it falls back on my philosophy.
Okay.
See, I think non-binary cosmology. In other words, I believe that the world should not be divided. We should not create binaries between science and non-science and this kind of thing. I believe that the world runs on composite. The world runs on mutual inclusivity, where there's complementarity as opposed to competition. So what that means is that there's no need to create warring factions between the science and the humanities. The two are needed, like I said earlier, that we need a tool to be able to make the world a place where I'm not too much an optimist. I must say that very clearly. I've read Marxism, Hamas, and all this from read capitalism and all that. I'm not an optimist. You see, I'm not a pessimist. But I believe that what I mean by, let me explain myself, then I'll come to the bigger issue.
Okay.
So what I believe is that the world is never going to get better the way it is. I'm not an utopian either. Now, what you see, both from the perspective of faith and even from the perspective of science, it's quite tricky because even in the area of science, evolution, which is from, let's say, simple to complex or whatever you want to call it, there's a certain level of progression, right? Including the Weberian understanding of modernity, which is a linear progression. But that linear progressivity in terms of development is a myth. It's a charade. It doesn't happen anywhere. Because we do know that every inch in technological advancement is more or less a derail in the social life of human beings.
Okay.
Through the ingenuity of the iWorld, okay, the iPad, that's Steve Jobs. I'm referring here to Steve Jobs.
Okay.
So we have iPad, iPhone, and all sort of the II. Now, what has that led to us? It gave us comfort, so much comfort, isn't it?
Yeah.
So easy to sit in the corner of your room like we are doing now, and then chat as though we are sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
And the truth is that iPad, iPhone creates an iWorld. You see, it creates an iWorld of me, myself, and I. And once that comes in, it becomes a drawback on human civilization, precisely because we are social beings who survive through conviviality, right?
Okay.
Through social survival, because we have a penchant towards gregariousness, willingness to be together. Now, once science is unable to merge us in that kind of world, they will begin to break apart. Because the foundation, as I said, of every civilization, fundamentally, is language and family. That begins with family, right? Now, it's from there, that's why charity begins at home. So when the home is broken, when human solidarity and conviviality is broken, then no matter how science comes in, it will collapse. That I can assure you.
Okay.
So that informed VISA. So VISA actually is a brainchild, ideologically, or in terms of the dream from my friend Sebastian Jinacha, with whom I studied in Cambridge. And actually, he was a colleague from the University of Cape Coast, where we both studied for undergraduate study, degree. But of course, I think 2 or 3 years ahead of him. So we haven't met there. But again, we are both custodians, which we belong to his Newford Hall, the Yale Hall, which we can talk about at that time.
Okay.
I'm doing a research on custody. So what it meant was that, so when Sebastian, of course, again, he preceded me in Cambridge, so he was there at the time I joined. And I joined him, worked together, lead the Ghanaian society there. He became the president, I became the publicity chairperson of the United States. And we found a lot of symmetry in terms of our philosophy. We are both Christians, even though we belong to different denominations, as it were. But philosophically, we all think that life could be made better if we had a better understanding of it. And so in 2017, as I said, when I met, he had an idea of this. We talked about it. I said, well, this is a great idea. So actually, I was interested in STEM, as it was STEM, where the A should reflect, because of my philosophy of complementarity and mutual inclusivity.
Okay.
That's how VISA was born in 2017. And the goal of VISA, as you could read on our website or in our constitution, which I'm very sure you've been one of our big members. I'm sorry if I've exposed you, but you're also
no problem.
And I want to acknowledge the role you played, and I don't say it lightly, because you played a good role and a brilliant role in helping this architecture.
Thank you.
Let me thank you on behalf of it. So VISA, philosophically or ideologically, is to provide or promote a certain level of science where it is not just a matter of theory. Of course, theory is very good, right? But unfortunately, in our part of the world, theory often enslaves us. So a student, before a student writes a thesis, a long essay, you begin to consider framework, a theoretical framework. That's, for me, is banality, because your mind gets enslaved before you even go to the field to do research. So before you even start your research, you've enslaved and imprisoned your mind already. So the data you collect may run roughshod over the theory you began with. But quite often we are forced to acquit in with our data, so that the data speaks to a very needless. Some of the theories are very needless. Some are very outdated, right? So VISA's goal is to provide the practical aspect of science, where students will understand science from the perspective of practicality. At any rate, let me say that there are 2 types of sciences, and I'm not sure you may put it in further as we go on. We have the experimental science and the historical science. Now, it goes back to what I've been saying. Unfortunately, in our part of the world, I'm not trying to dent us, that's far from it. We tend to focus more on the historical science sometimes, and less of the practical and empirical science. So historical science most often goes into, let's say, the theories, the history, which are very speculative, which in terms of practical science may not be considered science at all. Evolution may not be considered science at all, because it's not practical science, it's historical science based. It's about theory.
Okay.
Now, we need to build theory out of practice. Okay, out of practice. But there are two things here. I want to be very clear on this. When it comes to, let's say, the foundations of religion, or the foundations of how to live our lives, religious people believe that theory precedes practice. In other words, beliefs defining how to live our lives will precede how we live our lives, not the opposite. Right?
Okay.
Now, but when it comes to how the cultural creations of human beings, we are able to make sense of what we do after we've made it. And yet, if we apply philosophy and faith to it, what it will mean then is that we are guided by, first and foremost, our belief, so that the outcome of our belief in practice will give us sense, and we can theorize out of it.
Okay.
And that's what we want to do. So VISA stands to ensure that whoever comes in contact with us or in touch with what we do comes with a certain understanding of life as seeking to promote human flourishing. Fundamentally, that's it. Then whatever science the person does, whatever practical science the person involves himself or herself in, becomes something that promotes the primary essence of promoting human flourishing.
Okay.
And so our practical science, which is preceded by the belief that we need to help humanity, even as I believe we don't live in we don't have an nutrition world, or we cannot do that world our own needs. Now, if you ask me further, I will explain why I don't believe in nutrition.
Okay, sure. I think we'll take this tangent where you were talking about experimental science and is it philosophical or historical?
Historical science. That was not historical science. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Could you give us a breakdown of both, please?
Yes. So you see, now we have what called etiology, right? A-E-T-I-O-L. So when I say etiology, we look at origins.
Okay.
Origin. So for example, say the origin of the world, cosmos, the origin of human beings. You see, now it means you are trying to investigate something that preceded human beings. And that's very interesting. Is that not it?
Yeah.
So if real science or total science is based on observation, practice, repetition to produce a result, and following the same process, the same results are repeated, then you can't apply that to etiological science or historical science, or you can apply that to science of origins. I don't know whether I'm clear on this.
Sure.
So you can't use, let's say, what you have made. Look at the philosophy here. You can't use what you've made, which either predated you, right, or you have based on what already existed, to explore with certainty of something that even predated what you have investigated.
Sure.
So let's say if I decide to use I try to use carbon-14 dating, right, to investigate how old the universe is. Remember that it will be more speculative because that thing I'm using to study what I'm claiming to study actually you can't even apply it in any sense of the word.
Sure.
I recall a friend of mine said scientists were going to explore the universe and asked, where are they going to stand? Well, you're in the universe. You're going to put out the universe, which is an impossibility.
Yeah.
Okay, so that science is speculative. In other words, it is part of human attempt at making sense of the world. And this is also because human beings by nature are meaning-seeking beings. We want to make sense of our world, especially, you see, we are persons of curiosity by nature. That's how the Lord God created us. And because of that, we always want to know, right? If there's an edge for us to know, we want to know.
We're always probing.
So we want to know not just what we came to meet or what we have made, but we want to know how life was before we were created. Now, my brother, if you want to know how life before you were created, how do you become certain about it? How do you apply science to that? That's why we call it speculative science or historical science. So historical science is about science that speculatively tries to explore life before human origin or life before the origin of the universe. And practical science, on the other hand, is about practical science, where this time we are experimenting something material.
Okay.
Like material things, and that is practical science. And that one, let me now say that it's acceptable of everybody, but interpretation may differ. Practical science cannot be accepted by everybody. So we have so-called Christians, atheists, deists, agnostics, and all these people studying practical science, and may disagree on the origin of human beings, the origin of the universe, and all that, which is normal because it's speculative as it were. Practical science, they may hardly disagree in terms of what they find because it's experimental, right? Which is the 19th century, but they can all see the process, they can all see the conclusion, they can all see was done. But they make psycho interpretation. Again, that's also human.
Okay.
Well, they make difference of subjects. So, for example, if two scientists, one, let's say a conservative Christian like myself, Calvinist or evangelical Christian, the other, let's say agnostic or humanist, do a research, and then they notice that, look, human nature may have certain predisposition towards, let's say, same-sex attraction. All right.
Sure.
Now, both they say, well, what's a possibility? Let's say if you take 100 human men or human being, one may likely have that kind of predisposition. They may interpret differently and then apply differently. So the one who believes in, who is a humanist, who thinks that, look, life has no purpose in the post-material world or post-mortem world, he said, well, it's okay, let it go, right? It's not the evolution of life. Now, on the other hand, the one who's a Christian,
starting or building a
yes, that must govern life. He will say that no, yes, it is true, but he will explain it to me part of the fall of human beings.
Okay.
That's why in Vesa, we believe that faith must precede science. For us, the theories, the practical things we do is interpreted in light of faith without doing injustice to anyone. So basically, that's what I mean by historical science and empirical science and how these two are explained scientifically.
Okay, so in summary, am I right to say empirical science deals with the tangible, whilst historical science is dealing more with the intangible?
Yes, because exactly. So historical science deals with what preceded or predated human beings. Human attempt at uncovering life before humans existed. That's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then empirical science deals with what is like part of the human cultural creations, doing what we can already see or what we are creating, what we can see, we can touch, and we are part of the sense of.
Okay, so in light of that, the intangible is giving more room for much to be desired, and it's bringing room for more opinions and diversity in thought patterns.
Exactly, because you realize I began by saying that there's why and how, right? So the why will determine how the how is done. So, for example, again, if I believe that before anything else, there must be boundaries in life. Okay, there must be boundaries. And what are the boundaries? I'll put boundaries. And we found that right in creation, so God said, you are free to eat anything. That's very interesting statement, right? Yeah. Free to eat anything. But, so the bat, I remember a friend asked me, if God knew that human beings would eat food, why did he? I said, well, God wanted to tell human beings that I am God, you are not God. So you have to respect the rules. Very simple, okay? So, if let's say I'm a scientist, and before I begin my scientific exploration or anything, I have a priori belief and that you must respect the boundaries of life. But once you boundary the boundaries of life, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It's like you don't create reality. Basically, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Okay. You don't create reality. You must face within reality. And yet, you may try to contradict reality. But see, because you can control reality, it will come back to hate activity if you violate it wrongly. Right? So, before I do science, or before we do science, we must have this a priori understanding that life must have boundaries. And that is why, if you look at the life in the during the Second World War, if you look at eugenics, for example, right? Eugenics, if you look at almost this one we call bioethics, look at euthanasia, issues like abortion. Now, these are controversial issues because it will continue to divide us. Why? There's an attempt that certain boundaries are being broken by the way people understand it. Okay? So, before one undertakes any scientific research, that's why my faith allows one must begin by defining the boundaries within which science must operate. I was giving an example of, let's say, about 35 years ago, driverless cars were considered almost impossible, even by top North American scientists. They thought it was never possible. Okay. Now we've gone past that level with AI research. We have driverless cars. The question is no more the AI research. The question is about the boundaries, the philosophical questions, which actually, like I keep saying, must precede the science. The car were to not between an old woman and a child. Who gets to live and who gets to die? And who takes responsibility? The driver, the car, the owner of the car, the producer of the car. That is so assuming we had preceded that technology by defining the boundaries, that would probably have been there or emerged in the first place. This is sort of thing.
Sure. And these are areas that we'll be touching on pretty shortly when we zoom in more on the 21st century and the human conditions.
Excellent.
SMC Consult is powering the Science Digest show, and we are proudly supported or sponsored by EPP Book Services. My cloth today is by Joyfully Made GH. Their number you can reach them on is 055 290 4465. That is 055 290 4465. You can reach them on social media at joyfully_made_gh. We are also supported by Nunana Clinic, or I think if I'll pronounce it much better, Nunana Clinic, yeah. And they provide holistic health care in a healing environment, and they offer these various services from rheumatology to dermatology, nephrology, ophthalmology, gastroenterology, dietetics. They give infusions, painkiller, orthopedic, endocrinology, neurology, cardiology, physiotherapy, mental health support, private general practitioner services, laboratory services, pharmaceutical services or pharmacy, ENT, that's ear, nose, and throat, pediatrics and obstetrics and gynecology. These are all specialties that they provide, and you can reach them on social media at Nunana Clinic, NUNANA Clinic, or www.nunanaclinic.com. The numbers to also reach them on are 055 1844715. That is 055 1844715. Landline to reach them on 030 255 7825. That is 0302 557825. On WhatsApp 055 184 715. 055 184 715. Contact Nunana Clinic for holistic health care. We are live on ỌDADEƐ Radio. ỌDADEƐ Radio has social media handles on Facebook, ỌDADEƐ Radio, and at ỌDADEƐ Radio Ghana. On Instagram and on Twitter, you can reach them at ỌDADEƐ Radio. On WhatsApp and SMS, you can reach ỌDADEƐ Radio on 02000 92925. That is 02000 92925. And then the studio phone call line is 030 255 1034. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Hello, my name is Elsie Kaufman, and I'm here to support the Science Digest show on YouTube. They have a lot of interviews, interesting things going on. Please watch it. Thank you.
Welcome back, viewers, from this quick commercial break. Dr. Charles Prempe.
Yes.
Yeah, we roll again.
Thank you.
So the human being now, our conditions in this very 21st century.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, feel free to call me Prempo without a title. As you already know, I'm fine with that. I mean, a title sort of can create a bit of but we are talking as colleagues.
Sure.
So,
No problem.
yeah. So, when it comes to the human condition, we need to look at it, I mean, from the angle of science technology, which I approach into. What it means is that we are looking at what is the situation of human in the world. What has changed? Has anything actually changed? The answer is yes, a lot has changed significantly. You look at the pre-modern. Again, that mixture, the word pre-modern, more medieval and modern are quite confusing binaries in human history, or they are confusing categories in terms of periodization. But it's important we also note that, in a sense that, let's say if you take a dictator, right, a political dictator or a ruler or a regime, before the Industrial Revolution of the 1970s, and you take a political or dictatorial regime or authoritarian regime in the 21st century, obviously you see a big gap in terms of the extent to which one can be a dictator or apply a dictatorial regime or rule. Now, before the advent of the internet, it would be difficult for one to have overwhelming control over the lives of people. So if you take, let's say, the world of 15th century, 16th century, 17th, 18th century, what is obvious is that the monarchs who may qualify in some ways authoritarian will not have that force and ability and the capacity to rule or to govern people, even in terms of their policy. That is one. Now, two, if you look at the world before the Industrial Revolution, or the world before AI research, which maybe we may talk about at some point, the monarch would balance, right, need laborers to work. In that case, you could not oppress laborers to the point of destroying them. That was almost impossible. But you could not even control their productivity or their productive capacity, but you needed them to replenish themselves so that they produce more labor to replace themselves, and to keep the economy balanced.
Okay.
Right. Now, so what is that? Dictatorialism or authoritarianism in that regime will be quite different, even though, of course, it will still be oppression. Now, if you compare that to the 21st century, digital surveillance, it is more difficult. It is, in fact, it's more complex, easier for authoritarian regimes to enforce oppression than the pre-modern world. Because through digital surveillance, it is very common and easy, more enhanced way of checkmating, even entering into the privacy of people. So there's totalitarianism, where the total aspect of one's life is brought under the panopticon. The panopticon, which is like, if you read George Orwell's 1984, the big man, see, is watching over technology, okay? And it makes it very difficult. These days, your privacy is invaded easily. Now, if you ever travel or through this biometric registration and all that, there's nothing about anyone which is ever easy. It is very easy for people to control our lives compared to, let's say, the pre-modern world. Now, that is a radical shift. Okay, that's a radical shift. Now, if you look at the intersection or the convention of science, you notice that the family system or structure has also changed significantly. Again, if you look at my mother's generation, you needed to have children, no matter, because the economy relied on education, right? More than, on reproduction or sex or reproduction or regeneration, as opposed to, so let's say self-appropriation, as opposed to sex for, let's say, recreation. So my parents would want to have children as a necessity, right? To step in so that in the absence or when they grow old, their children will fall into help. So children were sort of social capital. Now in the world today, we have virtual economy where people make money and they're able to insure their life. So they drop. In fact, these days you can even insure your life even after life. You see, you can ensure that even your burial will be taken care of. You don't need anybody to even come and catch your funeral. But you can even get professional mourners to mourn. You can get professional priests to. But you can even get AI priests to intend over your funeral, provide their requiem. Now, so of course, in Germany, they are robots. They got machine that pay for human beings anyway. So what it then means is that the foundation of human life will fundamentally change, right? Now, if you look at again the world, let me give you an example of myself. When I was supposed to have gone to university in 2001, soon after secondary school education.
Okay.
After the university has introduced affirmative action. Listen very carefully. A lot of affirmative action was in favor of women because the understanding was that women were learning, right, in their education. That was a fair deal. But it meant that I had to stay home for 3 years. I had no remedial, all right? I had no remedial to do. Of course, mathematics are simple, but I had good grades that I could have taken to university right away soon after this. I didn't even revise, and I still went to university. Now, but look at it this way. Now, imagine I had not gone to university. My colleague women who went, they have graduated, and who they have married. Let's be honest with ourselves, okay? So it is something we don't want to accept. They would go to let's get a degree, and I will still have my SSD certificate. And do you think they have to cohabit or to marry somebody who hasn't reached their level to very, very difficult, almost impossible? All right. Again, with more women going to school, again, brilliant. It will affect the family structure. What it will mean is that there will be delay in childbirth. Fundamental, that's a fundamental thing that we don't want to talk about. Fundamental, okay? If you delay in childbirth, and we know the complications of childbirth, one of which, for example, fibroid. Yes, I know, you are a medical doctor, so you know better than I do. Fibroid is genetic, even as it is, and one, it is genetic, two, is an African man's burden. That's as prostate cancer is it's more or less a man's burden. Meanwhile, in the wisdom of our ancestors, and even medical practice, okay, medical practice, fibroid, for example, is also called an idle womb. You know it, right?
Yeah.
Called an idle womb. When womb is idle, the chance of you developing is very high. Two, there's also a statement that says that bad girls hardly get fibroid, but good girls do, because bad girls probably will have children, and they are good to go. But good girls who slow, 35 years are still not married. Now, these are hard truths that we don't talk about. Look at autistic, the rise in autistic children. I sympathize with autistic children, and I think we need to do more to help such because no matter they are creatures of God and they are enemies of God. But we need to also interrogate on these future factors. Again, mind you, I said there's a biological fact and then there's a future fact. But disease is an intersection, right, of the biological and the social. So we may not be able to control the biological. What about the social aspect? But the social will enhance the biological. Okay? Now, research actually shows that women giving birth in their late age in life actually has even the modicum possibility of producing such children. If I'm wrong, you are a medical doctor, you can tell me about it. Okay, I know this is a very controversial issue, you may want to talk about because of professional ethics and all that. But these are the issues we don't talk about. Part of the human condition. A book I'm working on, which actually it would soon take shape. I'm looking at young women today. Many of them are employed in the banks. And I'm saying as a because of my research I did. I did almost a year-long research with young women who are working in the banking sector.
Okay.
Many of them are very good. People will not say that's because of patriarchal culture. No, it's more than patriarchal culture. It is something more than that. All right? A lot of them are developing fibroid. And it's very expensive these days to have fibroid service. You are in the field. If I'm wrong, you can tell them. Okay? Many of them are complaining because the banks becoming more privatized will put them when they are yet to have children. The banks literally control their wombs. Literally. That's of when they marry and even when they start having children. These are facts we don't really need to talk about. So that together we can build a better world. So you have these young women working in the banks, money given to them, and yet they feel oppressed and oppressed. There is nothing wrong, as it were, empowering women. There's nothing wrong. But remember, I said something. Anything scientific, anything humanly, rationally oriented, which began, and we can talk about anyway, accounts and all that, must have a priori boundaries. But the boundaries will inform how we engage what we do with our rationality. So that if we don't involve the defining boundaries by God, and I'm a Christian, I'm saying less about it to say, if we don't define it that way, the product of what we do for our rationality will lead into complications as we currently have, which we pretend not to talk about. Okay, right. So the human condition is a very difficult one. Now, let me now go back to the work of one Hebrew professor, Yuval Noah Harari, and I'll use that to explain the complexity of the human condition. Right. Now, Yuval Noah Harari is an Oxford trained historian, very brilliant historian at that. You can Google him, right?
Yeah.
He wrote trilogy, 3 books, sequential, right? The first one is called Sapiens. The second one is called Deus, or Homo Deus. The third one is 21 days. And I will explain them. These are huge books I read all the way, and I will explain them in simple terms. You see a certain linkage, and it will help us understand human condition today. Now, if you check the first one, Sapiens, it was published in 2014, right? Now, in Sapiens, Yuval Noah Harari is a humanist. Okay. Humanist, not a just person, humanist. He has a certain I won't mention that. So that's his personal choice. So he begins by writing, trying to understand etiology, the origin. Remember, I said that we must understand the origin of life. Okay? So he begins by saying that, look, where did we come from?
Okay.
Were we created as intelligent being or we evolved? Evolved from what? So because he's not a Christian, so he bracketed the word out from the divine intuition, as it were, in human life. There's no divine hand. Okay? If there's any divine hand, it's called the God in the gap theory, sort of. Okay, so he begins with this evolution theory and concludes that, listen very carefully, human beings are nothing but concatenation of chemistries. Okay, we are basically nothing but a concatenation, a mixture of chemistries. Fantastic. Evolving from there. Now we started from somewhere, evolving from ape, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, all this nonsense. Now we come to a point where he begins to say that, look, why from the human crisis? Because life has existential imperfection. We live in a world of total chaos. Every now and then, we develop one scientific invention, thinking that to solve a problem, it creates another problem. I have an expression saying that we live in a world that is incapable of 24 hours of uninterrupted peace.
Okay.
So this man now wants to understand the imperfection of the world. Where is it coming from? So he discarded one God, right? That's theorism. So if there's no God, let's explain the imperfection by ourselves. How is he going to explain the imperfection of the world? He begins the agricultural revolution. That it is the most disruptive aspect of human history. All right? And I know he's taking inspiration from Frederick Engels, okay, who also wrote about the human family. And that's another banality of scholarship. And anybody can take me on this. So if you look at that banality of scholarship, they begin by saying, oh, don't worry, human beings, once upon a time, there was free range land. Men and women were sleeping anyhow, no boundary, nothing, that foolishness. You see, everybody was doing anything, right? And there was no limitation of any kind. Remember, these are humanists. These are people who were God-hating human beings. I'm sorry to say this and not be said as it is, right? If anybody wants to do proper scholarship, anybody can read Paul Johnson, Intellectuals. I mean, it's a book anybody could read anyway. So, and they know the philosophy that informed what these guys were doing. So Yuval then built on from there. So the agricultural revolution was the thief of human civilization because it disrupted us. Okay? Now how is he explained it? They said the agricultural revolution brought about human structures. It brought about settlement or sedentary lifestyle. Before then, foraging and all that, that sort of nonsense. Now, once you settle as a sedentary lifestyle, what it will mean is that you have to structure society. Okay? Now, by structuring society, there will be hierarchies. So some will write the men, so supposedly foolishness and patriarchalism will come in and centrism will come in. Men will want to rule over women. So people then say that, like Engels, as I said, will say that because of sedentary lifestyle brought on board by a cultural revolution, what's to mean is that men want to rule over women. Right? Okay. Gender story is coming in. So men, patriarchalism will come in, right? Sure. Now when patriarchalism comes in, there'll be structures. The structures become imposing. It breaks away the freedom people had. So you have somebody like, let's say, Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, saying that man is born free, but everywhere he's in chains. To say the state of nature was better than the state of civilized society. The state when it was a free range, which never existed, it was a myth. It was a historical, stupid, science anyway. But they leverage that to build a theory. If that's the case, then what it means is that agricultural revolution disrupted us. Okay, it brought structures, it destroyed us, it limited our freedom, because when people come together, there must be limitations, there must be rules, there must be laws. And the laws will limit us, as it were, it will limit us. But once we come together, there will be language. The words we use will limit us. You see, if I say you're a woman, obviously it comes with what you do, identity. Identity comes with responsibility and then duties. If I say you're a man and we are sure what a man is, it comes with defined identity, defined regulation, defined rules. Defined functionality, what you do. Again, in sedentary lifestyle, rules or functions are very much defined. Men perform what we call instrumental responsibilities, women perform expressive responsibilities. In other words, men will now be going to the field to bring the food home and then protect, because now people want to, there will be what we call aggression, there will be territorial aggrandizement once we settle down. So men will be leaders, military-wise, political-wise. The women will be shut in because so they are protecting the women from harm. So the women will be hedged in, and they call domesticity or domestication of womanhood, right?
Sure.
Okay. Now, from there, from the 1940s, we have Jean-Paul Sartre, okay, who comes to essentialism as a theory. Then his girlfriend, I must say it as it is, because we don't do proper intellectual history anyway. Now, his girlfriend was Simone de Beauvoir, who is one of the goddesses of feminism, radical feminism, of course. Mm-hmm. He also takes on from there to say that, look, it was called the agricultural revolution, which created what was transcendentalism and the immanent rules. So the man is transcendental because he goes out He's more creative, more revolutionary compared to the one who stays in, who gets back in the home, producing children and doing nothing by repetition of motherly responsibilities. Okay. So what Pippa says that that's the problem of the human race. That's a condition. That's what led us to all the problems we have. Not the biblical understanding of the human, the fall of human beings or the sun.
All right.
All right. So Pippa is optimist. He's an optimist. He has hope that the world will be better with that no God, with human AI research. So after he had laid that foundation, theoretical foundation, speculative as it were, in 2016 he published another book, a follow-up on the first one, called Deus. Now Deus simply means God. You know it, right? God. Okay. It means that we've moved from sapient to becoming deities. How is that going to be achieved? Remember, he said that the problems are there. Problem created by industrial revolution, we need to solve that problem. We are evolving in terms of cognitive-wise. But he said that we are physical and cognitive. So cognition-wise, in fact, physically we've moved from because through the scientific revolution of the revolution of the 1730s, being from England, we conquered the physical aspect. What about the cognitive aspect? That's the most difficult thing, right? So can we have something that cognitive-wise operates higher than the currently as we do? AI research intervention. What that intervention. In fact, I was at Stanford for a conference in the US, and I've been to a few Western universities. What is clear, what is happening is that they try to merge cognitive science and then psychology together in AI research. What are they trying to do? Trying to create what we call the Gilgamesh project, where immortality is created. You see, Gilgamesh is a myth. It's a mythical situation of human beings fighting death and eventually seeking to conquer it. Now, Yuval thinks that through artificial intelligence research, we shall succeed in that. All right? Okay. So in Deus, he said through AI research, the three fundamental problems of human life: war, famine, disease will become a thing of the past. Now, let me explain how you rationalize it. First, take war, politics. It says that in the pre-modern world, because of the cultural revolution, the cause of war was land, right? If you look at Karl Marx, land. All these people, it's about land. We are who we are. Because if you read in Google's We've No Child, they will say, where did our land go? It's about land. Okay? Land. Very critical. All of us are defined by our land.
Okay.
Okay? So he says that because resources was primarily land, war was almost irresistible. It was almost like something you can't do with that.
Okay.
And that's why in history, war, in land. People like John Locke and myself and the story to go about land, we won't go there, we'll talk about that another time.
Okay.
So, land. Now, do we still fight for land? Is land the main resource in the world today? He says no, because resource is not knowledge. So we move from the land resource to knowledge resource. And you don't use war, you don't use weapons to get knowledge. Right? So the so-called knowledge or information world, it is not acquired through weapons, but through dialogue. So, for example, he argues that the Chinese will not carry gun and go and attack America to get the American knowledge to build upon their civilization, like what we call the fourth industrialization, which is based on knowledge. Okay, so if you take that one, it means that from that logic, it is true. But indeed, land as a cause for, or as a primordial cause of conflict would be over. Because, you won't have to go to attack the other together. But what about the Ukraine-Russian debate? Is that about land? Is that about control of land? Anyway, that's one major blow to his theory, right? I'll come there. Now, the second one is famine, right? Starvation or hunger. He argues that, look, if you take the pre-modern world, hunger was a natural cause. It had a natural causality. What about the modern world? Through improvement in agriculture, revolution, and all that, technology and all that, we don't need it. Hunger is a political project. He said hunger is a political challenge because there is food in abundance. So if there's hunger everywhere, it is because of politics of distribution or people trying to, Again, we still know that it is true. But it doesn't take away the fact that hunger will continue to be what it is.
Okay.
And it's not just even the food that's available. It's about what kind of food is available for what people. Because again, the food we eat these days, you are a medical doctor, has its own nemesis. It creates its own aporia. We get sickness from the food we eat today than, let's say, the food we're eating, which may be the natural food. Today, if you buy, let's say, tomatoes, it doesn't even last for a day. Also in the world, it goes bad. Until I came to England, I never knew that fruits have expiring dates. Certain fruits have expiring. I didn't know certain fruits have expiring dates. Even plantain, I didn't know that. Okay, and indeed they do. They do. If you live there for a while, they go rotten. If you dare not, you will trouble.
Yeah.
Right? So we know farming is still a reality. In fact, COVID has proven that farming is a reality. In fact, I saw a joke, which I will share one day. Somebody went to the trying to check whether he had COVID, but he was growing lean. And I know we've done all the tests. Your virus is not COVID, it's hunger. It's hunger virus.
Hunger virus.
It's not a COVID virus, it's hunger. And indeed, you see the man, how soon he had grown, it was hunger. And let me tell you see, Yuval is wrong here because also hunger and morality work hand in hand. You know that?
To some extent.
Hunger, no, not to some extent, it's clear.
All right.
You see, it said that a hungry man is an angry man. That's a 17th century English proverbial statement. Is that not the point? Yes, which Mali sang. In our current language, it said that you get it? Yeah. Now, none of us will smile when we are hungry. It doesn't work anywhere in the world. Now, take any child. You see, a baby born knows where to get a breast milk straight away from there. Nobody sees a child that is where your mother's breast is. So you are a daughter, you know it straight away. They know. Right? Now, let me tell you wisdom, a certain wisdom here. Why do you think that when our mothers were breastfeeding us, they were singing lullaby? Do you know why?
Tell me.
We come with pleasures, right? We come with pleasures. The fundamental pleasure is food. Fundamental pleasure. Fundamental pleasure in every human life is food. Okay? Now, left to that alone, we'll kill ourselves. And that is why every child must be introduced to another level of pleasure. Music.
Okay.
Music. So the child knows that it's not just food pleasure that must satisfy. There is another pleasure that must get. And that's what the English word for it is. You raise a child. What does it mean? Raise a child from the natural pleasure of food to another level. Raise the child. That's the expression we use, right? You are raising the child. You are socializing. In fact, Mas Asimin, a Ghanaian sociologist, says that socialization is a conversion, deliberate effort in converting a child from the biological stage to a social state. And that's true fundamentally. Okay, hunger and food. Now, my favorite Islamic caliph, the fourth caliph, Ali bin Talib. Ali bin Talib. My favorite, very brilliant intellectual. He makes a statement. He said, a hungry man is immoral. And a hungry man can never be immoral. And it is true.
Okay.
Yes, it is true. So, if food had been supplied in a certain abundance, we will never, because you see, if you look at in political economy, if you look at Adam Smith, he begins his book, The Wealth of Nations, with a very interesting statement that it is not for the sake of altruism or benevolence that the bread baker or the butcher gives you bread or meat. No, it is for his own self-preservation. And that is true fundamentally, right? Okay. So it means that if indeed we encounter hunger, it will affect our moral life. Basically, that's what it means. Now, that is why in almost every religion, fasting, Lent, Ramadan, whatever, is imposed on believers at some point. In almost every religion of man. Why is it so? Because when you're able to tame hunger for even 3 days, the expectation thereof is that your moral life should increase. I'm telling you, that's what it means. If you like life, that's the philosophy of fasting. Why would you start before God listens to your prayer if He's the Father indeed? And indeed He is, of course. Okay, so Yuval has fallen flat on that anyway. Okay, COVID has shown that if when COVID happened, the challenge was no joke. People were hungry, but somebody said because hunger doesn't kill a rich man, we never felt as a pandemic for pandemic. So that whether it is free distribution or not, we still know that there was hunger or there's still hunger.
All right.
It means that we can't conclude that it was whatever. Because even before the modern world, hunger was not a problem anyway. Because people would just walk in and they will find food and eat. Now that we say we've advanced, we even don't have food. Okay. The way we want to have it.
All right.
I went to a shop and somebody was just for taking biscuit. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. In Ghana, I'm sorry. Somebody is mentally challenged. A mentally challenged person will walk around and they watch it until we will just give the person watch it to eat.
Okay.
In a service in abundance, you go to a person, bring your own food. I said, what sort of life is that? That was one of my first shocks in this country. That you go to a party, you bring your food. I said, my goodness, in Ghana, if you don't even go and eat, it's a problem. I'm not saying that as potential. I'm not trying to idealize. If I've written about Ghana food culture in the zone, but that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So it's not just a food, but the philosophy behind food. right? Do people see the other as human being? Look, I recall when I was at Kebabs, we used to serve American students. And they asked, something, when people have said, Brian, did you come and listen? Do you clean it? I said, yes. If you need a hungry, go and try. So that it becomes proverbial, but I'm very sure the person will ask you to eat. Most when you want to be a stranger, and we all know it. I was in the north, it was just that people would do their own food. Elsewhere where they claim they are capitalists or their food, the late capital eaters said that the food will never be given to unless you pay for it.
Right.
What is the telling us? Now the third one, diseases. We've conquered it. Cancer will be over. And then not just with that, there's this Chinese Asian American scientist, a physicist, Makio, I'll get a name. I've written about him.
Okay.
Now he is a physicist. I mean, what top I will give it to him.
All right.
He said, "Oh, we are cancer will be over. No science, will be." My goodness. Now let me tell you something. So after Yuval is argued that we've conquered everything, remember the problem is that he began by saying the problem we have to solve, the problem of life, this extension. Is that not it? Okay, my brother. After we've solved all the problems, what do we do with time? Now there's no problem to solve. So what do we do with time? I don't want to go to Stephen Hawking's philosophy of time, but the question is, what do we do with time without problem to solve? Let's be honest with ourselves. What do we do? You know, simple psychology tells us that. See, when people go on retirement, they die. You know why? They suffer from holiday neurosis.
Yeah.
You see, to be idle and do nothing self is dangerous than in fact doing
To
something
keep him busy.
like and that's the Bible says. Yeah, you see, the Bible says called a fool go to the ant.
Yeah.
Now within the ant colonies, we know that ants that are busy for nothing. They are busybody. They move for nothing. They don't carry food. They just move. But the Bible is telling us that. See, go and learn from, because it is better to be like that than to do nothing. Why? Now this is where the logic of the Bible comes in. Work is a divine command. Work is not a curse, which means that, you see, we're created to be the best of the best. It's when you work and you have pain, it's send that brother pain, right? We will go there if you push you to that direction of conversation. Now, so you can't have to answer the question. Well, we've conquered disease, famine, and what do we do with time? Now, it gives us 21 lessons. That's the title of the third 21 lessons for the world. My goodness, it's very interesting. Now, guess what? After all the scientific invention, he said, we will need philosophy. Now, but where is philosophy coming from? Religion. I'm telling you, religion. You can't get philosophy from anywhere but religion. You know why? Because speculation. Okay. I'm not saying it's speculation. It's about what's not yet real. That's what philosophy is about. So he comes back to where he was trying to think it was an illusion.
Right.
So after now he's trying to solve the world. Science will bring this, it will bring digital surveillance, it will lead to problems. How do we solve it? He said we need philosophy to answer the scientific technology we paid for us. Okay, thank God he ended with that. So 2022, remember every 2 years, what was he going to write about? Now you know what happened in 2022, right?
2022.
No, you know what happened in 2020? No, 2020. You know what happened in 2020?
Yeah.
Actually, it started in 2019.
The
COVID was preparing the world for it. After 2020, maybe I was waiting for him to appraise in anyway. Then, bam, COVID. All right. Now, when there was back, now you Google him. His books made waves, and I mean waves, global bestseller, almost on the book. I mean waves upon waves. I had to read them before the waves. And when I was reading, I read it and laughed. Even for I realized this is like, see, I jokingly wrote somewhere that it's like really old, and then you wake up and you have headache, and you can't even get a GP for appointment. Very funny indeed. So I was hoping to know what you write it. Then 2020, boom, COVID. What was how is he now going to work? Anyway, he tried. BBC wrote some article you can check, and people are not too convinced, right? And then as if COVID through the where he also would have been vaccine and he tried to give away his historian would have been vaccine. Yes, it's true. We got a vaccine, right? As if that wasn't enough. Ukraine. So I see now that was the end of it. So the last time I checked him, he has revised the first book with an author for children. This time the cartoon form for children. It means that back to square one. Back to square
factory settings.
God has shown Namiaction is interest level, you know, where that there must be limit. You see, I'm God and you are not. Finito. Now let me say this. I started reading Yuval Noah Harari in 2018. Incidentally, I read the first book alongside Nigel Cameron's book, The Robots Are Coming. was it probably 2017? Yes. Then I read Ravi Zacharias' Command Live Without God. Very interesting combination. I didn't know. I just picked these three books. I had no plan of picking them, but I ended up picking all the three. I said I read them at the same time. So now the Cameron says that robots are coming, right? Telling us the force with which robotic AI research can compete with the human life. Very grim realities. Very interesting. I was recommending for anyone interested in robotic studies or AI studies. Now, then I read Yuval Noah Harari, Sapien. Then I read Ravi Zacharias' Command Live Without God. Very interesting combination. And the COVID proved the answer. COVID came, my brother, when I recall here in the UK, the Prime Minister then was, the NHS is prepared faster. When the Chike himself was taken to the intensive unit. For the first time, we know that European countries are calling upon God. The God is so-called had killed. Italy, so we have no more control unless God intervenes.
Yeah.
That's culture. That's West. We are not sure.
I think there was a picture where the Prime Minister was pointing to God up in the sky or something.
Yeah, yes, it was terrible. My brother, it was terrible. Okay?
Yeah.
And so that is it. So basically that's what I'm trying to talk about. That the human condition is based on arrogance. The arrogance that we've conquered or we figured it all out, that is the highest level of arrogance. We don't need God. That's the highest level of stupidity and arrogance. And that's why we run in circles. We never get out of the chain. We never get out of it. So the family is in crisis. The family is in big crisis. The family in particular. If charity begins at home, this relationship begins at home. Now, I recommend the book. Ibn Khaldun was a 14th century philosopher. But he's considered the father of historian, the father of sociology, but even sociologists. His book called the Mukaddimah. Now, in the Mukaddimah, Ibn Khaldun wanted to understand why civilizations rise and fall, right? And linking it to particular Islamic civilization. You know what he said?
No.
He said, every civilization begins with what's called Asabiya. If you look at the Gables, a big book on the rise and fall of the Roman Empire.
Okay.
I would say he was actually copying from Ibn Khaldun. Ibn Khaldun says that there's what called Asabiya. The Asabiya is a kind of organic, which the term called it organic solidarity, right? Okay. Now, a certain level of big reality. You see, the I, you, and I, which of course many Western theoreticians also built on from there. I don't know what to go through too many names. But that's what it is. It is about a family, fundamental unit. If charity begins from there, the family is a vanguard against all sort of deviation. In fact, a child growing without a father figure. Look, if you read what we call psychological almost all the top 18 father crises in the home, that's what the 1880s. That continues to show that women who became radically against men came from the home where the father was either abusive or the father was absent.
Okay.
This is a hard fact we don't talk about. That time, Professor Sombo, who was a professor, instructed that my views, I took her to task and she couldn't defend herself. I'm sorry. I don't do such idiocy. You see, let's face fact. The point is that, you see, once we pretend that we know better than God, since, you see, now let me give you a bit of history. In the Christian Reformation of the 16th century marked a watershed in Western history, right? In the sense that before then, the world was actually under the control of divine right of kingship, where monarchs were controlled. Science was suppressed, people never had freedom. Okay. Now, you have people who tried to bring reform in the European world. It didn't work. So that before Luther, others preceded him. Okay? The question is, why did he succeed? That is printing, the invention of printing, not in the journal.
Okay.
Right? So, with his success, what it meant was that the Western world moved into its modernism or modernity. You can read my paper on this.
Okay.
So from that time, the idea of statehood emerged. The idea of modern science emerged. So from the and then that is a long journey of Western idea of secularization. That's how it started.
Okay.
So the first level of secularization of the 17th century, which is secularization of knowledge, beginning with people like Immanuel Kant and then David Hume. So they felt that it is possible to make sense of the world rationally without appeal to the metaphysical.
Okay.
Because religion had been instrumentalized by religious institutions and the monarchs to oppress and oppress people. So how do we move away from there? Then in the 18th century, politics was secularized through the French Revolution led by Napoleon, and then of course later the American Revolution. That also looked at like level of governance system. So that was the time, but from the 70s, you had people like Kamasoa, John Locke, were trying to understand how to build civil society. I don't want to do it unless you push me further. Then the 19th century, there was secularization of culture, where these thousands of people going to church to find what we call the tremendum, the mystic tremendum, or the mystique of life. They would prefer to go to a museum. So the church had become museum, they turn into artifacts. Okay. Then the 1960s, for example, that's when we had the secularization of morality. So at that point, remember that America had emerged as the power economically after the Second World War and the Internet Revolution, and that is where we are today. So from that time, there's been a downward spiral of the human condition, from west to west and to west. Okay, with facade or with superficiality of improvement, but everything goes way here in the long run. And that's the crisis we are in.
Interesting. All right. So on the 4th of July to the 7th of July, Vacation Initiatives in Science Africa, in collaboration with Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, is coming up with a tremendous, unprecedented, formidable program dubbed Science Intent. Science Intent. And on those days, we have these associated institutions coming in as exhibitors in these various disciplines: biology, chemistry, mathematics, and robotics. So we have School of Engineering Sciences, University of Ghana. We have labs and departments from Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, University of Ghana. We have Velthius Institute, Princeton University, USA. We have Makers Palace from Ghana. We have Laboratory of Applied Evolutionary Biology from University of Amsterdam Medical Center. And then we also have Institute of Cell Biology, University of Edinburgh, UK. Then we have a team from FEM Africa Maths from Ghana. This program would be partnered in terms of media by the Science Digest Show and by extension ỌDADEƐ Radio. Also, we have Stitching International, we have EDCTP, EPP Books Services, and then Pathfinder. To sponsor this particular program or to be associated with this particular program, you can reach us on the number 054-859-3815. SMC Consult can be found or contacted also on Instagram at SMC Consult. Science Digest Show can be found on YouTube at Science Digest Show. Kindly like our channel, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends and your network. ỌDADEƐ Radio can also be found on a particular radio station app which is on all the Play Stores. Zeno FM Radio. Zeno FM, then you go /ỌDADEƐ Radio, and then you get in touch with our wonderful radio station and watch our wonderful programs. You have myriads of programs that we run over here. Also, we have ỌDADEƐ Radio app itself, also on the Play Stores, especially on Google Play Store and App Store. And then also we have Facebook live stream of ỌDADEƐ Radio. That is ỌDADEƐ Radio or ỌDADEƐ Radio Ghana. Also, we are proudly supported by Dr. Cook. Dr. Cook cooks myriads of foods and stews. Even when you are organizing your graduation, your programs, your parties of different kinds, or if you want stew for like a month or a week, Dr. Cook, contact Dr. Cook. Dr. Cook can be contacted on the number 055-248-2135. That is 055-248-2135. We also have Scent Diamonds. Scent Diamonds deals with a lot of products, which are scented products and gels, body splashes, myriads of them, and they can be reached on the number 02057 599. 02057 599. They have a lot of Victoria's Secret products as well. You can reach them on that particular number. Dr. Charles Prempeh. Hello, Doc.
Hey, please.
Yeah. All right. So,
yes. As I said, Prempeh is fine.
Sure.
Just go slow on the time.
I mean, that's fine. Sure. Prempeh, so we've had a good time on a number of areas. You've given us a good in-depth and exposition on a number of things. But you took the wind out of my sail early on, where I wanted to ask you questions about AI technology and the way forward. However, you've made it clear that we need regulations as human beings and as scientists and people in this world. So, the very preamble you put out there, I was going to put the same thing and more to you. First of all, a child and a woman crossing, an AI automated vehicle is moving without a driver, a human driver in it. And it's at a point where it's supposed to hit one of them, which is the decision the AI technology is supposed to take. In addition, should we have an intervention in terms of regulation that says a human driver should be in the vehicle? If there's a human driver in the vehicle, who takes the blame? Is the blame supposed to be apportioned, or it's supposed to be entirely the human's fault? You can come in now.
Yes, you see, so remember when I was speaking, I first said that before we do anything, we must accept that life has boundaries. Okay? Life has boundaries.
Sure.
You know, and the so-called reality and illusion, they are not the same. Okay, there's illusion, there's reality.
Sure.
Now, sometimes we confuse. So we are illuded, thinking that we can do as we want. We are illuded, thinking that we are in control. We are illuded, thinking that we conquer the world, through science and AI. But we forget that there's really calculating on us, so that whichever spillover we make, if it crosses a certain boundary, it goes on us. But we don't choose reality.
Sure.
Okay, I can choose to say, well, the sun doesn't exist, even when the sun is really under the sun. It doesn't change the reality of the sun. So that's why it's like saying there's no God. It doesn't mean anything to God, right? If indeed there's God and you say there's no God, that's your problem. That's not God's problem. You get it? It's just like saying the sun said that the sun has said that's your problem. Now, so let me bring in faith and science here, and I'll go to creation. See, when God created the world, in one pair, certain tree, model or something. You are free. Let's take note of God very well. The statements in the Bible said, you are free to eat of all the food, but of this one, don't touch. Don't go close.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, people ask that God, knowing that human beings will eat it in the his omniscience, he knows before time or ahead of time, what is his transcendence as well as him. Why do he have? Very simple. God wants to tell human that there are boundaries crossed without consequences. Those boundaries are clear. Then the boundaries must recognize our limitations as human beings and God's limitlessness as in fact, God himself is limited by himself. That's very clear. That's why he can't do anything in proper distinction. He cannot. For God cannot be on God. For this philosophical question, whether God can do a build a huge stone that he himself cannot do, it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction. It doesn't work with God. Well, you see, his nature is immutable. He has immutability of nature. And by that, what it means is that he cannot contradict himself. That's the Bible says that in him there's no shadow of contradiction or variation.
Sure.
He's the same yesterday forever. So God himself is limited by his own deity. His own ontology. So the word is ontology. It means that God cannot spill over from being God to something else. And that is why he's trustworthy. You see, because it doesn't change. So he sets those demarcations to tell us that once you cross the boundary, the implications you can't control. So you fall within. Fall within the frame of God. Because God is not a killjoy. People think, oh, once you agree, no, it's not a killjoy.
Okay.
But freedom without limitation is distraction.
Sure.
And that is why, look at so from the 17th century, as I was narrating, you have somebody like, you have what called the radical libertarian. So we have called them the libertarian philosophers like Swapnil and then Bentham. Right? These two people said that, look, your freedom should never be limited whatsoever, except when it's a distraction to yourself. What sort of nonsense is that? Let's go. If I say I have freedom to eat food, somebody must have freedom to produce food. Is that not the point?
Yeah.
If I said I have freedom to medical care, someone else has freedom to have children, to dedicate to take care of me. So if my freedom actually limits somebody's freedom to be who he is, what does that mean? Can I have freedom? That's nonsense. Is that not the point? Okay. So now let's move. Then we come to Isaiah Berlin, who was also a Jewish, but British philosopher of the 20th century. He
Sure.
built a very good intervention. So the people negative, because I'll go back to the Bible stuff, but I'm trying to bring it
Right.
philosophy. Yeah. So Isaiah Berlin said, there are two sorts of freedom. There's two of freedom. You have the natural, the negative freedom, and the positive freedom. Okay.
Okay.
So negative freedom is positive. Very negative freedom and increased negative. Is that my point?
Yeah.
But possible where your freedom is curtailed, because without which your freedom is becomes universal. It produces you into the universe, it destroys you in the long run.
Okay.
Okay. So if you look at people like Jean Paul Sartre, as I mentioned earlier, after the Second World, they were trying to make sense of the world, and he did his first one, about philosophy.
Sure.
Saying that there's not like essence. Everything is made. We make it, right? We make it. So we decided it. Then you have something like Foucault, Michel Foucault, the French social scientist, right? Who also do the research, develop capitalism, bastardizing everything, language and everything, so everything has been collapsed. But we want freedom. Okay? So language, as I said, will limit you. If I say I'm a man, it means that it's a limitation in the first place. I can't be a woman, and I can't work women that. And that's why these professors, emeritus, whatever they call themselves, cannot be defined for women. Okay? Now, if you ask a woman, we don't know. And it's funny, my small girl somewhere in the village can tell who a woman is. When my daughter's, my son's is a woman, we should say this a woman. Unless the boy goes and he gets corrupted by the so-called professors who have learned and just can't tell who a woman. Okay. So they come say that, well, language is suppressive. Let's collapse language. Everything's suppressive. So yes, that's the world we live in. To go back to so the boundaries must be changed. Okay. Now, let's look at the spillovers when the boundary was destroyed. The boundary is that you must subsist under. You are dependent being. You are not independent of God. 2, by having a woman, you are not independent of the woman, right?
Okay.
You play compatibility. Now, listen, this is a mystery. But within the Godhead, there's complementarity. We Christians believe in the Trinity.
All right.
Okay. So I'm talking about the evangelical conservative Christian, of which I'm one.
Yeah.
I know others who claim they don't believe in the Unitarian theory, philosophy, the 18th, the 17th, I don't know. Which cannot be proven in the way. Now, so if there's a Trinity, within the Godhead, there's unity, there's complementarity.
Okay.
So nature, they are one, right? So God, the Father, by nature, they are one. Function-wise, they are not. But they perform different roles in complementarity. So look at our salvation, or even look at creation. Now, God speaks the word, Christ is word, so the Holy Spirit now just makes it. Take just one person. It's very clear. You see the in action. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you move on to there, look at our salvation. The Father decides whom he will save. The Son goes to die for people. Then the Holy Spirit becomes a seal. It's a seal of our salvation. So we are completed.
Sure.
If you want to read Isaiah 48 years from the verse 40 and say that you see clearly the Trinity. If you don't go through the New Testament. But let's go to the Genesis story.
Okay.
So, not touch. Now, man did. See, we listened to the devil as we protested and violated the rules of God. What happened? Spillover of tension. We couldn't control it. Now, from that time, I'm going to say things that I am open to challenge anywhere, and I mean it. So, what happened? What was the first that happened? The family became the first victim of the crisis. Remember that when Adam felt lonely, he didn't choose the woman he wanted. It was God who gave him the woman. But he felt the need, but he couldn't supply the need himself. God had to provide the need.
Okay.
Is that the point?
Yeah. Okay.
So look at it. When sin entered him, and God asked him, Adam, where are you? So, what have he says? Yes, the woman you gave me. So, the woman you gave me. You who gave me. That's not humanity. Blame God. Fundamentally, I blame culture. None of us wants to take the because potential culture of blame culture.
Sure.
Right? Every the other person. Women are angry because a woman who is angry because Jean Paul Sartre, let's say Simone de Beauvoir, Jean Paul Sartre was misbehaving out of more women. Out of anger, she produced the second sex, which is a very radical feminist book of the feminist Bible today. Mary Daly. All these were angry. They are all angry. And we want to accept the fact that we are all part of the problem.
Right.
So because we accept the problem, we pass it on to somebody, and somebody becomes the target. We victimize people, we cancel people out because we think they are our problem. Meanwhile, we are all the problem. I'm part of the problem. So the problem is that we don't want to accept responsibility.
Sure.
Adam said, no, it is not but it's a woman. You gave me.
Sure.
And if I knew that God never held a woman responsible, it was a man who was held responsible. So the family should spare us, right? It was not God who held the woman, it was man who was holding the woman, but not God.
Okay.
God held responsible. Now look at Abraham. The same scenario. Abraham and Sarah. Sarah said, Abraham, take my servant, Hagar. By the way, it was sorry type of practice. Abraham said, yes, my wife, I'll listen to you. All right? The trouble came, instead of Adam blaming Eve, Abraham said, I accept it. Abraham passed where Adam failed.
Okay.
So the first failure of man is personal responsibility. We don't accept personal responsibility for our actions. We don't.
Okay.
Right? The Foucault, the Dali, all they don't want to accept responsibility for their own sinful nature. Again, anybody or Johnson, the intellectuals.
Right.
Okay, 2, you have Cain and Abel, right? Cain and Abel. Right. Now, sin was getting into Cain. God said, my brother, be very careful. You are getting closer to where you can't reverse it. Oh, I'm my brother's keeper. That's where he lost it. Right? He failed what we call the moral responsibility. So we are responsible to one another.
Sure.
Right? They're responsible. I'm responsible to my brother. I said, I'm my brother's keeper. That's when you fail. Now look at the same scenario in the case of Abraham and Lot. Right? Lot made his own decision. And yet when Lot was like, Abraham went and defended him and saved him. He didn't say, I'm my brother's keeper.
Sure.
Abraham passed where Cain failed. Okay? Now the text that we get to the Noahic covenant, the Noahic story. God told Noah, I'm going to destroy the world. Noah just complied, so to build a ship, the ark, and all that. At the end of the day, Noah became lonely, a drunkard. He had told he may have preached, but he didn't intercede. The real didn't preach and interceded. Let's get it right. Right? We don't read Noah interceded. He may have preached. But look at the same scenario. God told Abraham, I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. What happened? He interceded.
Yeah. And pleaded.
So Abraham passed the collective responsibility test where Noah failed. Okay? Right. Come to the Sinai, Genesis chapter 11. God said, people have given you wisdom and knowledge. The honor is mine. I want you to know to spread across, build civilization across the world, spread across the surface of the earth after the flood. He said, no, we wouldn't do that. That's where AI comes in. We are going to use the knowledge to to break ontological boundaries. You see, to say that we can get over from our humanity to get to where we are. I would say that the heavens is of the Lord, the fullness, and the earth is where we are. We are earthly beings. Adama, we are earthly beings. And human beings thought they could build. Now, you see, if you read the Bible very close, and maybe you could try if it's not. They developed the sophisticated technology, bitumen. It had never happened in human history until that time. It was for the first time technology to be able to build that new structure. The point.
Referring to the Tower of Babel, right?
Yes, bitumen. It was unprecedented in human history. What did they want to do with that? To challenge God, to get to where God is, to dethrone God. Self, right? I'll take Abraham. My brother, listen very carefully.
Sure.
God to Abraham. Abraham struggled to get a child. From the Christian base, it was, Isaac, son of covenant.
Yeah.
Now God said, kill that child for me, sacrifice him. You think God is a blood-testing monster? No. See, God is telling Abraham, the child is ultimately mine. Now, this is not even knowledge.
Yeah.
But the child, human being, you see, knowledge with Peter says mine, you are going to talk about. God at this time, a human being that is precious than the knowledge you create, give that child back. Complied.
Yeah.
What does it mean? It's not mine. Ultimately, it's not mine. It's you, God. Human being. It's not mine. It's not mine. So, again, Abraham passed the ontological responsibility test. He was able to define that this belongs to God, this is not mine. I'm only a caretaker. I'm only a viceroy. I'm only a steward of the child God has given me. The child is not mine. That is why we have no right whatsoever to kill any child. No right whatsoever. Whether the child is deformed or not. Why? The child ultimately is not for us. Ultimately, the child loves God. That's why we have no right to violate any human being. For any human being ultimately belongs. That's why when Christ could say that your sins are forgiven. Because the question, was it Christ who was violated? No. But because the person was violated, there's the image of God. So Rabbi Zacharias puts it this way. He said, whose image is on it? Says Caesar.
The question, the level, whose image is on you? The Bible says, create us in his image. So, no matter what you are facing.
Right. I think
that's why Abraham is celebrated across almost all the so-called Abrahamic religion. So-called. See, because of Abrahamic. Now, what does it mean for AI research? It means that, you see, if you look at the Babylonian account, I'm not trying to mystify anything. The Bible says there's nothing that human beings perform to do that they cannot do. Because God had, we have stupendous, enormous knowledge. We've never been, the last time I read, I was very young. At the most, they never even used 1/3 or cut off the brain, the IQ or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, what we can do, we've not even gotten anywhere close. But the good news is that there's a God who is the master of the universe. He's sovereign. He demarcates the boundaries, right? We depend on our level. Okay? We'll find our level. And that is why, if you look at history, civilization, we rise and we fall. We rise and we fall. Why? We don't fit anybody. Right? Look, if you look at the tension in the family, look at the family I talk about. Women are oppressed, they feel oppressed. Look, the one they talk would have been the answer is what are oppressing there.
Interesting.
I'm telling you. Okay? Look at the complications. Who is doing research into fibroid, like I mentioned? Who is doing that research?
Sure.
Who's doing that research?
There's a lot of take-home message.
Who's doing that research?
Yeah.
Let's run this fast.
There's a lot.
Look, my brother. Look, let me tell you this, and I mean it. And I hate no one, me myself, my son. I don't hate anybody, right? I began by talking about Ibn Khaldun, the Kasabiya. Read about Kasabiya, the concept of Kasabiya, which came, the French have something called organic solidarity.
All right.
Now, which Robert Passner, American sociologist or political scientist, called social capital. Okay. Now, read. Now, guess what? In the 1830s, when Charles Darwin, who was in Cambridge, my alma mater, went out to nature, people don't read another one who equally do the same thing. The French podcast scientist Aristotle, Alexis de Tocqueville, Alexis de Tocqueville, at the same time Charles Darwin went to the US. Why the US? Went to America. Why America? What were their conclusions? You know about the prison's dilemma? You may know it. We'll talk about it another time when you want to talk about it. Because that's pure practice. We can discuss it. Okay? So, if we do proper scholarship, what we come to terms with is the fact that we cannot transcend ourselves until we can make it better. That is why all the human-based, humanistic, atheistic, agnostic philosophy of failures, or they all create anger and bitterness. They create, they make people bitter. The people don't answer. Look at Karl Marx and Marxism and socialism, right? What good has it done to the world? But distraction. And I say it with no apology whatsoever. Distraction.
Right.
The crime Marxism socialism has caused, the havoc in human history cannot be compared to anything in the dark ages of religion or the Jahiliyyah of Islam or pre-Islamic, pre-Islamic array. It's incomparable. The atrocities caused by Stalin and all these idiotic bloodthirsty monsters in the name of hoping to establish communism, right? Establishing a utopian world. Bloodshed, but nothing but bloodshed. Nothing but bloodshed.
Sure.
And even when they succeeded, oligarchs emerged. Oligarchs took over. Now, listen, Germany was, arguably the most sophisticated. Look, I love Germany. Look, most of the top philosophers of the 90s were Germans. Friedrich Nietzsche, almost all of them were Germans. And yet, now guess what? Adolf Hitler was some of the brains, intellectuals. You Germans, you think they were people from Zongo Mahmoudi or the Mahmoudi? No! These were the top brains.
Yeah.
Look at the result that they gave to the world. Total destruction. Come to capitalism, no way out for us. Right? No way out.
Right.
Capitalism says that the problem of humanity is that we don't have freedom to create, to be creative. Yes, they give us freedom, but they never give us morality. Right? We don't have no morality. So if it is true, and indeed it is, that about only 3% of the world population owns the wealth of the world, what are we talking about? So they acquire, listen, they have the creativity to acquire, but not the morality to distribute what they can acquire.
Sure.
Today, if you look at the feminism movement, it's anger. I wrote on Facebook today. It is driven by anger. But they see imperfection. Instead of accepting that there's something wrong, we need to work at, they want to rather blame somebody else.
Yeah.
At the end, it's the nurses of stupidity. And that's what we find ourselves in. And the professor will tell me, my visa, I took her to try. I said, remember, I didn't call to debate you. Now, then why? She said, Papa, have you read? I said, my goodness. I told him I've read this. In all humility, don't bring yourself to me. You can be in your ghetto somewhere in the industry or whatever. Right? No. Let's face it. I'm serious here.
Sure, I understand you.
We accept that we are the problem, not anybody else. You know, there's an African American song. It said, "It's me, oh Lord, stand in." So if I say it is me, it means that I have to solve my own
problems. Yeah.
I have to do it myself. I like, Moody, Dwight Moody. He said, the worst enemy is nobody but myself.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that there is, you see, in Ecclesiastes 3, I think verse 9, says that, you see, he has put eternity in our heart.
That's why, in our hearts,
yes, and that is why Augustine said that, oh Lord God, I've quoted one of my books, you have created for us yourself, and our hearts in restfulness until times rest in you.
Sure.
Okay, and that's why, that's why Pascal, the Pascal theory, he was a priest as well.
Yeah.
He said there is a God-shaped vacuum in the heart of man, or human beings, that cannot be filled by anything else, by nobody except the Creator himself, God.
Yeah.
So you see, there's emptiness. We all know what is good. We have an idea of the perfect world. But the Bible says he has implanted himself in us. So we'll try to do, thinking that without God we can do it by ourselves. And that's where the problem lies. We think we can be God, fundamental, and you shall be like God. That's what Yuval is saying. Homo Deus, you are becoming Deus. Then common COVID scattered everything. Now he went back to square one to now write it for children. Can you imagine?
We'll end it. We'll be wrapping up.
I thought every now and then I listen to economists. Now they've become figure-based economists. I'm sorry, that's not economics. They should go and do proper economic history. No, you see, economics didn't begin with mathematics. I'm sorry, that's not economics. I don't want to mention names here.
I wouldn't even allow that.
Yeah, they quote figures. I said, what sort of nonsense is that? Is that economics? No. Economics fundamentally social relation, right? Read about the issue of money. Where from money? The social concept. Okay?
Sure.
So economics is not about figures.
Right.
So they keep figures here and then. These are the intellectuals we have. I'm sorry, that's not intellectualism. Because you see, if you go to that's what I mentioned. Look, read all the so-called fathers of economics. They were not economists as we say them.
Sure.
No, Peter Beck. Read Peter Beck.
Sure.
Read Peter Beck. Now, Adam Smith was not an economist. He was a best social scientist. In fact, even Charles Darwin was not a biological person. Look, Darwin, I have the book here. It is a philosophical test. I'm telling you, it's a philosophical test, more than biological test. All right? Read it closely. It's very philosophical, not. That's why he wrote two books. We don't read the second book that he wrote.
Right.
Because after he completed the first book, published in 1859, he reached a dilemma. You know the dilemma?
Yeah. It was between two things.
For organism as an individual, it needs to be selfish. And it is true. It is true. Yes, because we are self-centered. Otherwise, we won't survive. So the term evolution is about selfishness. Fundamentally, that's
survival of the fittest, right?
Exactly. Fundamentally, let me tell you a story about two people who got lost in the forest. Okay.
All right.
And then
we're wrapping up with that one.
Run of a lion. Okay. Then the two of them had to find a way of escape. The other one started running away. The other one sent to a place where the two of them could hide.
All right.
Now the one who was trying to find a place for them and said, they told the one who was running, "Can you run faster than a lion?" Said, "No, you are stupid. I am not running from the lion. I'm running from you. So by the time the lion is down with you, I have gone." That's what basically what the think about. Okay.
I've heard this before.
Here's the thing. My brother scholarship. Now, but as Darwin came to a debacle, a cul-de-sac, what is a cul-de-sac? He said, yes, it is true. For an organism to subsist or to survive as an individual, it needs to be selfish. To survive as a group, it needs to be altruistic. Where from altruism? Altruism, he said, cannot come from anything than religion. Now, this was somebody whose death, whose daughter's death had caused him to stray away from God. So how was he going to answer that question? It is in the second book, which we'll talk about the other time. So that's why I mentioned the French aristocrat, right? Alexis Tocqueville, who went to the US around the same time. Yeah. Now, what was the conclusion? He said that it was religion, and I'll repeat, that birthed America's democracy and civil society.
Yeah.
If you read all the theorists, all the theoreticians, if you read from fact, because they were trying to make sense of how to build civil society. Read John Locke, Thomas Hobbes, all these guys, Rousseau and all that. About that, the answer is very simple. You need something more than rationality to make sense of the world. Therefore, the world condition, the human condition, to be resolved in a way. Remember, I said I'm not an utopian. I don't think but to be able to keep the garden of God from further distraction, we need to restore ethical and personal boundaries to human societies. It's very fundamental. Unfortunately, almost every direction we are taking is a total shredding of common sense and wisdom. We follow our appetite, pleasure of sex, pleasure of rebellion to destroy the world further. I'm sorry, this is the reality of the thing. Now, these days, and let me say this, when you say it, you'll be cancelled out. Your name is mentioned, that Prempeh guy is too hostile, you're not invited for conference. I don't care less. I care less about this nonsense. At the end of the day, the truth must be said in love. But we can't say it in love in a romantic love. No, it must be the fact. We all heal ourselves, and then the world moves on. So that one day, that's what Christ said. He didn't say, I'm making the world better. So I'm bringing a new world. Revelation said, behold, and I saw a new Jerusalem and a new heaven. Means that this world will never get anywhere. With the rebelliousness of human beings, it will not get anywhere.
All right.
It is also worse because in the past, governments were not structuring and legalizing immorality. Today, governments are legalizing and rationalizing immorality, passing laws to rationalize immorality. These things have happened. See, in the past, there was persecution and oppression, but it was also legislated into law. Governments have become very oppressive. The idea of social contract has been discarded. You vote for a leader who becomes a demigod to you in the name of stupidity, right? In the name of democracy and governance or whatever it is, they become laws and petty deities for the rest.
All right.
That is the reality of the human.
Sure. So
that's the reality of the
Thank you so much. You can see you've warmed up very much, and we've drank a lot from your repository of knowledge today, and we'll definitely have another session with you. I would have a last question or chance for you to wrap up professionally, but we are also sponsored by Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist has karaoke night every Friday, and they serve foods. They serve drinks. You can get a discount on your drinks at half price from 7 to 10 p.m. on Fridays when you go for the karaoke nights. The karaoke nights are normally dubbed carry your own key. So you come and then you sing along. And you can reach them on WhatsApp on 020-6874-225. 020-6874-225. And then on call on 05000-71215. That is 05000-71215. I'm ably clothed today by Joyfully Made GH. You can reach them on 055-2904-465. Science Digest Show is live on ỌDADEƐ Radio. ỌDADEƐ Radio shine the light. ỌDADEƐ Radio on Zeno FM Radio. You can download Zeno FM Radio on the Play Store, on the App Store, or ỌDADEƐ Radio app. You can reach ỌDADEƐ Radio on Instagram and Twitter at ỌDADEƐ Radio, and on Facebook at ỌDADEƐ Radio Ghana. Science Digest Show is also on TikTok at The Science Digest Show, and on Twitter at Science Digest Show. You can also contact us on 054-859-3815 if you want to comment, if you want to be on the show, if you have anything to contribute to the success of science and to fortify and strengthen scientific interventions in Ghana, Africa, and the world at large. Dr. Prempeh, your final take home and shout outs you have for us.
Yes, so thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been a very good conversation. I know I've said a lot, which may need time to unpack some of the points. They are very nuanced, and I admit. And like I said, I'm happy to be my views to be critiqued, to be attacked. I am happy to receive any comment from anybody who wants to engage me further. I'm very open for that. Now, I will say that my second book, which is yet to be launched, almost about 450 page work. I'm sorry to say to the platform because I don't think it's. I should have asked for permission whether I can mention that. I want to say that I've addressed some of these issues in my second book, gender, sex, and decolonization in post-colonial Ghana, from a social philosophical perspective. So, whoever is on Amazon currently as I speak, so I've addressed that, and I think that going forward, there's a word which has become like a buzzword among academics, which is called decolonization. We need to look at that word very closely. What is it that we are decolonizing? So we are decolonizing colonialism. What's it about that we are decolonizing? If not, we putting ourselves in the middle and discarding everybody else. So I think that to conclude, we need to put science and the humanities of society in the balance, on a equilibrium, on a scale that is even, so that much as we are dealing with the technical issues of life, we are dealing with the core issues of life. Currently in Ghana, we appear to be more interested in building technical universities or whatever it is, at the expense of developing the humanities. Unfortunately, there's starvation of the humanities of funding. Okay, because again, like I said, when religion is in decline, the humanities tend to suffer. So we produce all the answers technically, and then we release the philosopher who you by himself said that would be the solution to our ultimate problems. So going forward, I want to thank you in particular, Dr. Jedediah Solomon. You've been very kind to me for inviting me to the program. I thank your crew members who have made this possible.
Sure.
I thank my family members, FIFA, my wife. I thank my children who make time for me to do my research. We have a very young family, and it's not easy always looking them behind, sitting in my study and going to the field to do research.
Right.
I thank all my friends. I thank the leadership of VISA and all those volunteers. I thank Sebastian Junata and then Solomon, a finance person who has been very instrumental. And of course, you yourself, who has also helped build VISA. I thank Lois, my sister, who has also been very instrumental. I thank all of them who
Millicent.
Millicent, of course, Millicent Opoku, who has served. And everybody, let me not make mistake by girls are falling into trouble. And I thank all of them. I thank my colleagues at the KUST who have been very supportive. And I thank everybody who has been part of my life story. Everybody, my parents, my siblings, and including you, as I keep saying, you've been very kind and generous. And my church, of course. My Christian brothers and sisters have been very kind. And my Muslim brothers and sisters have also been very kind. I'm very grateful.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Prempeh. We are also grateful to SMC Consults, So Much for Christ. We are grateful to Dr. Cook. We are grateful to Saint Diamond. We are grateful to Oliver Twist, Nunana Clinic, EPP Book Services, ỌDADEƐ Radio, my producer DJ Use, that is Mr. Joseph Otu, always doing the good works for us. Thank you for being on the show, and we wrap up saying Science Digest Show. See you next time on the show. Allah Prophet. We love you so much. Bye.
Three singing birds told me about
anyone come to see me this day, tell them I'll be gone for the day. I'll be down by the river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day. Oh yeah.
This is a live transmission of ỌDADEƐ Radio, streaming live from the AMC.
I've heard about this tale long time ago, but never have the faith nor believe in my soul. Yeah, yeah. Now Mother Nature sent to me 3 little birds, singing a song, saying it was so. Now I'm on my way. Anyone come to see me this day, tell them I'll be gone for the day.
I'll be down by the river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day. On this lovely day, singing songs of joy. Oh, oh, oh.
Putting roses on the pillow where you lay on the bed next to me. Cradle gently in your arms, my love. Watch your face like a child so at peace as you gently went to sleep in the cool and afterglow of love. Indulge me, I'm feeling mighty silly. Love we made is making me so dizzy. Your body said it's still on my sheet. Last night's memories is still making me weak. My eyes are glowing and my lips begin to smile. I have to catch myself, oh baby. I have to rest the world. Indulge me, I'm feeling mighty silly, yeah. Love we made is making me so dizzy. Putting roses on the pillow where you lay on the bed next to me. Cradle gently in your arms, my love. Watch your face like a child so at peace as you gently went to sleep in the cool and afterglow of love. Oh, my baby, love is driving me crazy. Oh, my baby, hey. Love
went to sleep in the cooling afterglow of love. Burning roses on the pillow where you lay on the bed next to me, cradled gently in your arms, my love. Watched you face like a child, so at peace as you gently went to sleep in the cooling afterglow of love. Oh, roses. Just let me hold you now. Don't hide your heart to how you feel. Dream, don't be afraid the dream's not real. Close your eyes, pretend it's just the two of us again. Make believe there's moments here to stay. Touch me the way you used to do. I know tonight could be all I have with you. From now on, you'll be with someone else instead of me. So tonight, let's build this memory for the last time. Hold me now, don't cry, don't say a word, just hold me now. And I will know that we're apart. We'll always be together, forever in love. What do you say when words are not enough? Time will be kind once we're apart. Your tears will have no place in your heart. I wish I could say how much I miss you when you're gone. But my love for you will go on and on. And hold me now, don't cry, don't say a word, just hold me now. And try to understand that I hope at last you found what you've been searching for. Though I won't be there anymore, I will always love you. Don't cry, don't say a word, just hold me now. And I will know that we're apart. We'll always be together, forever in love. What do you say when words are not enough? Hold me now, don't cry, don't say a word, just hold me now. And I will know you love me. Hold me now, don't cry, don't say a word, just hold me now. And I know you love me. Hold me now. Well, I never see you looking. I never see you looking. Yeah. I never see you looking so lovely as I did tonight. I never see you shine so bright. I never see so many men ask you if you wanted to dance. Looking for a little romance, giving half a chance. I have never seen the dress you're wearing, or that highlights in your hair has sketch you high. I've been blind, lady, is dancing with me. Ain't nobody here, just you and me. Where I want to be, but I hardly know this beauty by my side, and I never forget.
the way you look tonight. I never see you look
This is a live transmission of ỌDADEƐ Radio, streaming live from the AMC in Gabon, Accra, Ghana.
You're so amazing. I never see so many people wanna be there by your side. And when you turn to ghost and smile, took my breath away. I have never had such a feeling so complete to fall in love as I do tonight, lady. Is dancing with me, and nobody here. It's just you and me. We wanna be, but I didn't know this beauty by my side. And I never forget the way you look tonight. I like to say this on a baby. And I never will forget the way you look tonight. You know what I said, go again, baby. Let me say, baby. Hey, baby.
I've been missing you.
Girl, I miss you like crazy. Girl, I miss you so. It's been only a day, and I'm already missing you. That's too long for me. I'm about to go crazy. There is something about you, girl. Whenever you get next to me, I can feel that warm, sweet energy. You brighten up my life like Disney World. And I must say you're a very special kind of girl. Whenever you're around me, you bring me so much joy, love and happiness. You're the greatest. Whenever you're around me, it feels so good inside. My love just cannot hide. You're my soul and inspiration. Hey, and this is my special dedication. Whenever you're around me, it'll bring me so much joy, love and happiness. You're the greatest. Whenever you're around me, it feels so good inside. My love just cannot hide.
I've been missing you. I've been missing you.
Oh no, 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 you're just driving me crazy.
I've been missing you. I've been
Oh, yeah.
I've been missing
Girl, I miss you, girl, I miss you, girl, I miss you, girl. Yeah, it's been only a day, and I'm already missing you. That's too long for me. I'm about to go crazy. There is something about you, girl. Whenever you get next to me, I can feel that warm, sweet energy. You brighten up my life like Disney World. yes,
transmission
you're
of
the
ÖDADEÄ Radio,
greatest.
streaming live from the
Whenever
AM
you're
studio in
around me,
Accra.
it feels so good inside. My love just cannot hide. Whenever you're around me, oh, I miss you so. Whenever you're around me.
Whoa, this woman got my soul on fire. Still my one desire, baby. Last night I stood at your door and I knocked. I bet you couldn't answer, you were playing TikTok with another brother. And you're wondering how I know that woman. I saw this strange cruiser parked next to your block. It's the same color as the one that you came in all smiling that evening. And still you're wondering what I'm meaning. Could it be that you were splurging all over town? Be careful, you could get the runaround. It's not all that glitter is gold. Still a baby, ooh baby, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart's on fire. Could it be this loving is overdue? Ooh baby, oh girl, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart's on fire. Please know that this man won't be untrue. Yes, Monday you came home late from work. You said it's overtime and there is much chores that you had to do. Oh baby, you see, Tuesday is the same old, same old. Wednesday mama didn't even come home. And Thursday you gone round the bend, sister. Friday you must check your friend. And only Saturday you sleep, and Sunday you gone to church. Ooh, share the mama. Ooh, baby, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart's on fire. Could it be this loving is overdue? Woman, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, still my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart's on fire. Please know that this man won't be untrue, no, no. No, 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 no. No. Whoa, I said, mama, no, no, no. Last night I stood at your door and I knocked. I bet you couldn't answer, you were playing TikTok with another brother. But still you're wondering how I know that woman. I saw this strange cruiser parked next to your block. It's the same color as the one that you came in all smiling that evening. Still you're wondering what I'm meaning. Could it be that you were splurging all over town? Be careful, you could get the runaround. It's not all that glitter is gold. Still a baby, ooh woman, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart's on fire. Could it be this loving is overdue? I said, mama, ooh woman, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart's on fire. Please know that this man won't be untrue, Lord. Oh baby, ooh woman, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart is on fire. Could it be this loving is overdue? Oh girl, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart is on fire. Please know that this man won't be untrue, woman. I said I want more. Baby, you're my one desire. I'm a calling cause my heart.
A little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation and satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less bark. A little less bite, a little more spark. Could you mouth and open up your heart? Then satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby. Baby, close your eyes and listen to the music. Listen to the summer breeze. It's a good night, I can show you how to use it. Come along with me and put your mind at ease. A little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation inside. satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less spark. A little less bite, a little more spark. Put your mouth and open up your heart and satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby. Come on, baby, I'm tired of talking. Grab your coat and let's go walking. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Don't procrastinate, don't articulate. It's getting late, getting upset, waiting around. A little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation is satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less spark. A little less bite, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your eyes and satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby.
Satisfy me, baby.
Oh, satisfy me, baby.
Satisfy me, baby.
With just a little bit more.
Satisfy me, baby.
More and more. You sure can satisfy me.
Satisfy me, baby.
Oh, a little less, a little more, a little less, a little more. You surely satisfy me.
Satisfy me, baby.
Satisfy me, baby.
Satisfy me, baby.
You sure can do it.
Satisfy me,
And
baby.
put my mind at ease. Please, woman. Lord.
Open the gates and free the children. No, no, no. Open the borders, free them, make them go on. Open the book and teach the children. Ooh. Open the minds and free them, make them go on. Fit of the fittest shall survive. By the mercies of Jah we will stay alive. And anything that you do, make it good, cause the good you do live after you now. Lift up your voice and praise him, children. The King of Kings. Lift up your voice and give thanks to the Lord. No, no, no. Lift up your voice and feel his mercy. Ooh. Lift up your voice, he's worthy to be praised. Lift up your voices. Lift up your voices. Men and people will fight when they find you trying to live your life right. If all is well in your sight, then the head of the dragon, the lion will bite. Open the gates and free the children. No, no, no. Open the borders, free them, make them go on. Ooh. Open the book and teach the children the truth they got to learn. Open their minds and free them, make them go on. Lift up your voices and praise him, children, the King of Kings. Lift up your voice and give thanks to the Lord. For too long they've been holding us down. Time to rise, plant your feet on the ground. Raise your voices and shout. And I know that the walls will tumble down. Open the gates and free the children. No, no, no. Open the borders, free them, make them go on. Open the book and teach the children. Free up their minds. Open their minds and free them, make them go on. Listen to the Bingy man singing. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Ooh. Fit of the fittest shall survive. By the mercy mercies of Jah we will stay alive. And anything that you do, make it good, cause the good you do live after you now. Lift up your voice and praise him, children, the King of Kings. Lift up your voice and give thanks
This
to
is a live transmission of ＯDADEƐ Radio, streaming live from the
Lift up your voice and feel his
Accra.
mercy. Ooh. Lift up your voice, he's worthy to be praised. Lift up your voices. Lift up your voices. Lift up your voices.
Ooh, your love will never, ooh, your love will never die. Yeah, it's truly real. It's all about Jah, Jah, Jah love. The world needs Jah, Jah, Jah love.
Tell them so,
Everyone
tell them.
should try Jah love.
Teach them,
We all
teach
need
them.
Jah, try Jah love.
All over the world, listen.
Open up your heart and your mind. I'm telling you, it's time to realize that your love is real, and no money can change that. No ounce, no car, no vanity. If you know that a pure love, come and read about it. Feel your vibes, is heavens, is holy. Hey, there's a spot for everyone if you open up your heart. It's all about Jah, Jah, Jah love. The world needs Jah, Jah, Jah love.
Every time,
Everyone try Jah love. We all need Jah, try Jah love.
Try Jah love. So many times we see the children crying.
darling, how grand we are. Little by little we meet in the middle, there's danger in the dark.
It ought to be illegal.
Make it a crime to be out in the cold.
It ought to be illegal.
You got a reason for living, you battled on with the love you're building on. Gotta be mine. Hey, take it away.
Take it away, take it away, yeah.
It's gotta be night and day, just a matter of time.
We've got nothing to be guilty of.
Out of how many mountains
Near or far, we are, and we never let it end. We are devotion,
and we got nothing to be
we
sorry
got something to be
for.
sorry for.
Our love is one in a million.
Eyes can't see that we got a highway to
We got a highway. Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
hear your goodbye.
I said I never, never, never
Don't
wanna
wanna
hear
hear
your
your goodbye.
I don't wanna hear
Don't let me
your
hear you say.
I said I never, never, ever wanna
Don't
hear
ever say that word.
I
Don't wanna hear it, baby.
People come to Jamaica and not know how we live things. Say everything nice, true, we full of vibes and thing. Them same one feel it to them heart when them get few understand the real thing. Yeah, me day at town one day, I par with a white man we come all the way from Norway, and him turn to me and say, how comes Jamaica full of so much screw face? Same time I lift me head to the sky, and a teardrop fall from me high. Me say my youth come we go out for a drive. Let me show you why me cry. Look on the gully side. Do you see anything to smile about? Look at that hungry child, yeah. Do you see anything to smile about? Look at the schools where the youth them go forget them education. Do you see anything to smile about? Look at the conditions of our police stations. Do you see anything to smile about? No. Same time the brother say, how can the nation be living this way? And the next thing him say, how can the government play so many games? Same time my heart fall to the ground, cause there's much more where that comes from. Certain place they are worse than slum. Youth man come and take a look on Riverton. Do you see anything to smile about? Look on Pienland, yeah. Do you see anything to smile about? Flankers Mobe and Suffrage Heights in Spain. Do you see anything to smile about? Hope Flats, Kent, Town, they're all the same. Do you see anything to smile about? No, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no. No, when me say, no people come to Jamaica and not know how we live things. Say everything nice, true, we full of vibes and things. Them same one feel it to them heart when them get for you overstand the real thing. When them look on the gully side, them no see nothing they fi smile about. When them look on a hungry child, yeah. Them no see nothing they fi smile about. When them look on the schools where the youth them got to get them education, them no see nothing they fi smile about. When them sight up the condition of the police station, them no see nothing they fi smile about. My story say, me day at town one day, I par with a white man we come all the way from Norway, and him turn to me and say, how comes Jamaica full of so much screw face? Same time I lift me head to the sky, and a teardrop fall from me high. Me say my youth come with God for a drive. Let me show you why me cry. Take a look on Riverton. Do you see anything to smile about? Look on Pienland, yeah. Do you see anything to smile about? Canterbury, Mumbai, March Ben Road over Spain. Do you see anything to smile about? No flicker place, they are in a jam down today. We're not dead if you smile.
Na 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 na. Yes, the plain land, yes the plain land. 100 pound of cali weed, where they get it from? The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with a interrogation. The plain land, yes the plain land. Make up my mind to face the immigration. The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with take interrogation. Search them, I search for Taliban. Searching mass distraction. Dash me toothpaste, dash me stimulant. Hold the day a ball and dash a medication. Draw up my belt, left my pants in my hand. Scan all me eye, ask me where me come from. Take off my shoes, them and say take off your thumb. If them ever find a way to split, you gone another land. The plain land, yes the plain land. 100 pound of cali, tell me where they get it from. The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with take interrogation. The plain land, yes the plain land. Make up my mind to face the immigration. The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with take interrogation. Travel over land, travel over sea, doing the works of His Majesty. In this your new world order, what do you got on me? In this your new millennium, Babylon I try to keep the youth dumb. Musical Lord we sing, that's what we bring. The plain land, yes the plain land. 100 pound of cali, but where they get it from? The plain land, yes the plain land. Make up my mind to face the immigration. The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with take interrogation. The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with take interrogation. If you wanna know that slavery still exists, oh now, well come let me tell you this. Na 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 na. I'm leaving on a jet plane. The signs of the time is near. You got to walk the straight and narrow road. It's rough and bold. I'm leaving on a jet plane. The signs of the time is near. You got to walk the straight and narrow road. It's rough and bold. Search them, I search for Taliban. Searching mass distraction. Dash me toothpaste, dash me stimulant. Hold the day a ball and dash a medication. Draw up my belt, left my pants in my hand. Scan all me eye, ask me where me come from. Take off my shoes, them and say take off your thumb. If them ever find a way to split, you gone another land. The plain land, yes the plain land. 100 pound of cali, tell me where they get it from. The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with take interrogation. The plain land, yes the plain land. Make up my mind to face the immigration. The plain land, yes the plain land. Saggle up myself with take interrogation. Travel over land, travel over sea, doing the works of His Majesty. In this your new world order, what do you got on me? In this your new millennium, Babylon I try to keep the youth dumb. Musical Lord we sing, that's what we bring. The plain land.
I see them coming after my soul, wanting to take control. Wanna give me laughs, wanna give me bling, wanna give me all the material things. I hear them talking about what the world has to offer. Girl, what you doing, don't you see? What they have done to Bedouin and Marcus, Jesus and all of the prophets. But
This is a live transmission of ОДАДЕƐ, live from the AMC.
I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid. No, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One. They don't mind when you fall behind and can't pay your bills on time. Prostituting or standing in a them government line. No, and they don't mind when you waste your time coming up with some stupid lines, influencing the youth them for snort a line or take a life. And they don't mind when you're locked up in jail, can't get no bail, sentence for life. I can't see your youth them strive. No, they don't mind. But I'm not afraid. No, no, I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid. No, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One. See them coming after my soul, wanting to take control. Wanna give me locks, wanna give me bling, wanna give me all the material things. I hear them talking about what the world has to offer. Girl, what you doing, don't you see what they have done to Bedouin and Marcus, Jesus and all of the prophets? But I'm not afraid, no. I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid. No, if them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One. They don't mind when you fall behind and can't pay your bills on time. Prostituting or standing in a them government line. No, and they don't mind when you waste your time coming up with some stupid lines, influencing the youth them for snort a line or take a life. And they don't mind when you're locked up in jail, can't get no bail, sentence for life. I can't see your youth them strive. No, they don't mind. But I'm not afraid, no. No, I'm not afraid. No, I'm not afraid, no. If them a come, let them come, 'cause I'm protected by the Most High One.
Talents to survive and glorify his name. Some things we do will be to their surprise, so they bring our names to shame. Some will have so much to say when they're talking of their face, but we will be strong always and endure the pain. Tell them say no judge we to a pretty car. And how much girl you see and we apart. Why should we not have these lovely things? When Rastafari bless us with everything. And you see a one, Jah comes first. And all we do, and you see a one, Jah comes first. Yes. And you see a one, Jah comes first. And all we do, and you see a one, Jah comes first. Yes.
This is a live transmission of @ODADEÄ.
Still we show them Jah love no lie. Strength we gain when they inflict pain. Sun shines after rain. We will hold our heads up high, 'cause we know that Jah is on our side. There is only one rule to maintain. everything.
All in all, you see,
All in all,
Jah comes first.
comes first.
All we do, all in all, you see,
All in all,
Jah comes first. All in all, you see,
all in all,
Jah comes first.
just comes
All we do, all in all, you see, Jah comes first. Every time we do our thing, we involve Jah in everything. And you're not working your name, for we do not work in vain. Every time we do our thing, we involve Jah in everything.
everything.
And you're not working your name, Rastafari don't work in vain. Yeah. All in all, you see,
All in all,
Jah comes first.
Jah comes
All we do, all in all, you see,
all in all,
Jah comes first.
just comes first.
All in all, you see, Jah comes first.
Just comes
All we do, all in all, you see,
all in all,
Jah comes first. All in all, you see, Jah
all in all,
comes first.
just comes
All we do, all in all, you see,
all in all.
Jah is calling you. Go in the guns, come home. Are you ready now? All you missionary soldiers in Jah army, righteous apostles serving the Almighty. Come rally round Jah throne, 'cause we're leaving out our own. Are you ready now? Ready or not, I'm leaving. I am ready now. Mystery Babylon is sinking. Are you ready now? Ready 'cause Jah is calling. I am ready now. I know just where I'm going. Get your sword and shield and armor ready. Prepare for battle against the adversary. We've got to cover ground, 'cause we're moving homeward bound. Yeah. Are you ready now? Ready or not, I'm leaving. Yes, I'm ready now. Mystery Babylon is falling. Are you ready now? Ready 'cause Jah is calling. I am ready now. I know just where I'm going. Come, Jah children, rally round Jah throne. Rally round the high screen and gold. Come, Jah children, rally round Jah throne. Rally round the high screen and gold. Yeah. All you missionary soldiers in the army, righteous apostles serving the Almighty. Come and rally around Jah throne, 'cause we're leaving out our own. Rome, yeah. Are you ready now? Ready or not, I'm leaving. Yes, I'm ready now. Mystery Babylon is falling. Are you ready now? Ready 'cause Jah is calling. I am ready now. I know just where I'm going.
This is a live transmission of ÖDADEÄ, streaming live from the AMC on Accra, Ghana.
Ready round, I'll screen and go. Are you ready now? Righteous and battle serving Jah.
you ready now? Ready or not, I'm leaving. Yes, I am ready now. Cause Mr. Babylon is falling. Are you ready now? Ready cause Jah is calling. Are you ready now? And I know just where I'm going. Are you ready now? Ready cause I am
For the mercy of God is always with me. For you anointed me.
I remember the days when I used to pray and ask God for my blessing, and He would say, "Come on to me, you already made it. Pick up your cross and follow me, and I will do the rest. Oh, take my yoke and learn of me, and you'll be better than the rest. I know that I never fail again. You'll always protect me. That I never fail me yet. You'll be there for me. That I never fail yet. No way. That I never fail yet. Never fail me. Never fail me. He says, son, I'll give you my commandments. You must learn of me. I'll leave my love and my spirit, so you will dwell in me. I'll never give you up, I'll never forsake you. He said unto me, if you remember to call me in a time of trouble, you will always have mercy. I say, Judge, I never fail yet. You'll always be there for me. Judge, I never fail yet. He's abide with me. Judge, I never fail yet. Oh no. I told you once, I would say it again. Remember, I'm born again. There's certain things, there's certain places that I will never dwell in. Ooh, I'm a man of love. Pick up your cross and come. I'm a man of peace. His love will abide with me. I say that I never fail yet. He'll always protect me. Judge, I never fail yet. He's there for you and me. Oh, Judge, I never fail yet. He'll never fail me. He'll never fail me. Judge, I never fail yet. Judge, I never fail yet. Judge, I never fail yet. Judge, I never fail yet.
Well, you can't go and make she tempt your berries. You must have to get her, you hear?
Hey, little girl, each time you pass my way, I'm tempted to touch.
Baby girl, I love him all the diamonds on pearl.
Oh, baby, the dress you wear, your perfume, keep me wanting you so much.
Lord of mercy, I need the very, very bad.
Now I
any lover with me want me forget, get. Any lover with me want me forget, get. Any lover with me want me forget, get. You do any lover with me want me forget, get. I could have Patsy, Marcia, and the one princess. All of them come want to kiss off me neck. Come run down cut the ranking live and direct. And when me come a dance and say me not take no check. Any lover with me want me forget, get. Any lover with me want me forget, get. Any lover with me want me forget, get. Kill you any lover with me want me forget.
Now I'm gone.
pass my way, I'm tempted to touch.
Stay there, makes you go and tempt you, eh?
The dress you wear, your perfume, keep me wanting you so much.
Oh, make sure I forget her.
So much, baby.
Because love is a splendid thing. Lord, they say love come like a giant to bring. Lord, they say love is a splendid thing. Lord, they say love come like a giant to bring. Lord, when you love a woman, me say it is not a sin. So Lord, God, me know fi ride the rhythm. Hitch up on the rhythm like a lizard on a limb. So down on the rhythm like a tire on a rim. Took me with a pin, charge of a sin. Burn a minute, me proud of me living. Galang, cut a rank, and you a shock, and you a sting. The girl them have a crown me king. Cause any lover when me want, me a forget. Say any lover when me want, me a forget. Get. Any lover when me want, me a forget. Kill you any lover when me want, me a forget.
Now I can't help thinking of you,
baby girl.
of all the lonely nights that you put me through. Come on, baby, let's sit down, talk about it, close the deal. Let's close the deal. Hey, good vintage wine, sweet conversation, you and I, that's ideal.
I go and kiss and hold her and rub her down. Two away in a house, dress up in a night gown. Hear the dog outside, stand up on a hound. But the little cut a rank me at the talk of the town. Any lover when me want, me a forget. Say any lover when me want, me a forget. Get. Any lover when me want, me a forget. Kill you any lover when me want, me a forget.
Good vintage wine, sweet conversation. It's ideal. It's ideal. Yeah, na na na. Yeah, na na na. Stada da da da. Reggae music again. Stada da da da. Oh na na na. Yeah. It's been a long, long time now since we groove together like this. A different vibe is in the air. Reggae music again. Happiness on every face. Peace and love for every race. Smile and greet with real friends over and over again. Boy, it's been a long time. We don't have no vibe like this. Reggae music again. Whoa, reggae music again. Oh, and it's been so long. We don't listen to some old time reggae song. Play the music again. Yes, make we unite again. I remember when, way back then, positivity was the message we sent. No man not pretend, from the root to the stem. It used to be Jamaica, no problem. Money I spend, borrow or lend. And them kind of love that we need to extend. Remember when the skirt them are up on the pants them. It's been a long time. We don't have no vibe like this. Play the music again. Yeah, reggae music again. It's been so long. We don't listen to some old time reggae song. Play the music again. As a reggae make we unite again. Who know I hear me? If you were in my shoes, you would see some me not choose music and me music choose. Impossible for me refuse. Can't make no excuse. And if I the good vibe you want, bring the real thing come. Reggae music live and can't done, so make it play for the rest of my days. Boy, it's been a long time. We don't have no vibe like this. Reggae music again. Reggae music again. Boy, it's been so long. We don't listen to some old time reggae song. Play the music again. Yeah, I make we unite again. I remember when, way back then, positivity was the message we sent. No
man not pretend. From the root to the stem, it used to be Jamaica, no problem. Money I spend, borrow or lend, and them kind of love they will need to extend. Remember when the skirt them are up on the pants them? It's been a long time. We know have no vibe like this. Play the music again, reggae music again. So long. We don't listen to some old time reggae song. Play the music again. Make we unite again. So long. Music again. Music again. Unite again. So long. Reggae music again. One drop again. Yeah. Real vibe. One drop vibe. Reggae music. Ta-na-na-na-na-na. 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 Real vibe.
Oh yes, woman in my life. Oh, she's so wonderful. Sweetest little thing I've known. She must be heaven sent. Oh yeah. 'Cause you're so lovable, huggable, touchable. It's you that I need right now. Fill up me up, and you're incredible, irresistible, and so kissable. It's you that I need right now. Oh, baby. I've been waiting for you all of my life. Now I've got you here. Oh, baby. You don't need to hug your pillow tonight. True love we're gonna share. Oh, yeah. 'Cause you're lovable, huggable, touchable. It's you that I need right now. Fill up me up, and you're incredible, irresistible, and so kissable. It's you that I need right now. Oh, let me tell you why. It's just the way that you feel and the way that you smell. The things that you say when I'm not feeling well. Simply amazed by the things that you do. My world is complete with a whisper from you. Lovable, huggable, and so touchable. It's you that I need right now. Fill me up, and you're incredible, irresistible, and so kissable. It's you that I need right now. Listen what I gotta say. Oh, the magic that I see in your eyes could open heaven's gates. Oh yeah. And you were sent as my angel in disguise. I swear it must be fate. Oh yes. 'Cause you're so lovable, huggable, and so touchable. It's you that I need right now. Oh yeah. And you're incredible, irresistible, smooth and kissable. Right now.
This is a live transmission of ỌDADEƐ Radio, streaming live from the ANC.
I love this woman in my life. Yeah. She's so damn beautiful.
Well, I'm simply amazed by the things that you do. My day is complete with a whisper from you. Lovable, lovable, huggable, huggable, touchable. It's you that I need right now. We love you all day, we hug you up, and you're incredible, irresistible, and so kissable. It's you that I need right now. We hug you up, we hug you up, 'cause you're so lovable, you're lovable, huggable, she's touchable. It's you that I need right now. We love you up, we hug you up.
To the border boy, Buddha Saga, Siki Saga, I. Hey, yeah. Sometimes you got to give the ladies them the right. What am I asking? Do the ladies them give the man them the right? And this one dedicates to all the people that will not live to right. So, Leon, explain. You wanna live like this? I never thought I just had my last real kiss. I do believe in life for reminisce. Hold on, girl, don't bounce. Let's talk about this mess.
When I'm bouncing and I'm bouncing, I gotta leave you alone. 'Cause I'm good.
We have to be ready.
Down the spot and I'm good.
You know.
The girls on the block and I'm good. I got this thing alive, so without me you'll be fine.
You wanna say?
All my pride is all I have.
Well, too much pride is what you add. Too much pride is what you add.
You'll be needing me, but too bad.
What about the way to make decision when you're mad?
You pat your chose to run alone.
Well, girl, I know you're independent. You can make it on your own.
Here with me, you had a home. Oh yeah. Those nights I waited up for you. Promises you made about coming through. So much time you wasted. That's why I had to replace
Well, girl, you make a cat nervous. I thought of settling down. Especially me when I was moving over town. I thought my teletouch can lock you down. Said I knew I had you, as cocky as it sound. The way you used to give me right before you put me down. But I love it when you're hungry. Come here, let's move that now, say.
we're playing. You came in. I gotta leave you alone. 'Cause I'm good. Holding down the spot and I'm good. Repping the girls on the block and I'm good.
Check it out
I
tonight.
got this thing alive, so without me you'll be fine. Right? All my pride is all I have.
Well, too much pride is what you add. Too much pride is what you add.
You'll be needing me, but too bad.
What about the way to make decision when you're mad?
Pat your chose to run alone.
Well, girl, I know you're independent. You can make it on your own.
Here with me, you had a home. Oh yeah.
When they say people make mistakes to make up, to break up, to wake up, hold on, only the still. Baby, you know me, you love me, I'm like you owe me. Instead of flipping, come hold me, don't bounce on me. Hey, girl, I'm not a phony, oh, not a
There's
phony.
nothing you can say to me that can change my mind. I gotta let you go now. No, nothing will ever be the same, so just be on your way. Go ahead and do your thing now. And there's no more to explain to me.
Yes, I know.
I know you came, I'm not feeling what you do.
You're not feeling
When I'm bouncing and I'm
check it out now.
bouncing, I gotta leave you
yes,
alone.
baby.
Yeah. Pride is all I have.
Well, too much pride is what you add. Too much pride is what you add.
You'll be needing me, but too bad.
What about the way to make decision when you're mad?
Pat your chose to run alone.
Well, girl, I know you're independent. You can make it on your own.
Here with me, you had a home.
What is that guy?
Oh yeah. All my pride is all I have.
Well, too much pride is what you add. Too much pride is what you add.
You'll be needing me, but too bad.
What about the way to make decision when you're mad?
This is a live transmission on ỌDADEƐ Radio, live from the AMC on Pearl.
They're the land I've heard about, but never would I thought that I would try to find it.
can't ignore. I've just gotta find a way. Come listen now. Some say that it's paradise on earth. Now I know that I'd really like to go. I wanna go to the land of joy, to the land of peace, to the land where I know I will be free, to the land where my Father sent for me. Follow me and you will see now. So many places I'd love to go, but not as bad as this.